There we go. All right, guys. Well, first of all, man, my name is Marlon Avery. We'll kind of dive into stuff a little bit about myself, and then we're gonna do some fun things and stuff here. I'm a big advocate of artificial intelligence, particularly around Gen AI. Self-taught software engineer. Um, self-taught. Hey, guys, welcome in. Can you mute your mic and stuff for me? Yeah, self-taught software engineer. So, a little bit about myself. Before we dive into stuff here. First of all, man, guys, this is going to be an interactive workshop. We're going to be building. I'm showing kind of going with some of my journey of how I built several AI applications, and in particular today, we're going to be using Azure, focus around computer vision and also to OCR too. So if you don't know what OCR is or anything, just hang on. We'll dive into that here in a second. So a little bit about myself. I'm a software engineer at heart. One of my first applications that I had the privilege of building, stuff for myself, was a sneaker platform. So I'm a big fan of sneakers like Air Jordans, Nikes, LeBrons, and this is quite some time and stuff ago. I don't want to date myself, but I was a big fan of sneakers, and I wanted a way where I could view my sneaker collection on people's collection on my phone. And so at the time, it wasn't anything out there like it, and so I went to searching, trying to figure out what it could do, what it could be, and everything, and didn't see anything even remotely close to what I thought. And so I'll say, you know what? Had this crazy idea. Maybe I should do it. And so maybe I should do it. And an interesting fact too, at this time, I didn't know anything about development, coding, app integration, just none of those things. Only thing I knew how to do with apps at the time was download them. And so you know what? I say, let me figure this thing out. And I started teaching myself UI UX design to start off. And eventually, end up launching the application. I'll dive more into it here there in a second. So a little bit more about myself. Right now, I'm the founder of a company called AI Impact, where we put education first, development second. As of right now, we've done about 60 plus engagements in the last 14 months around Gen AI. So everything from workshops to panel discussions, teaching, and integrating artificial intelligence into organizations and also governments. Also, too, some of my kind of my journey and stuff here. I worked at companies like Uber, Udacity, Treehouse. If you taught yourself how to code, you probably heard of, some of these. And then obviously, I think most of us have heard of the ride sharing platform Uber. And so from there, I started my journey off. I taught myself how to code for a little bit, and I dive into that deeper into tomorrow. I taught myself how to code. My first tech job was at Treehouse, where I was helping individuals like yourself, helping them learn how to code, teach them how to code in 8 to 10 months, and then placing them into apprenticeships and stuff afterward. They got the attention of a larger ed tech platform by the name of Udacity. They said, "Hey, we like what you're doing over there. Can you come do that over here?" And so went to go work at the time it was the second largest ed tech platform in the country, but it's Udacity. And so did some awesome work over there where I managed about 50% of the engineering courses while I was there. And then after that, another opportunity came calling. I became engineering director at the second largest engineering. It was at the second largest venture capital firm based out of the Midwest. And so if you don't know what venture capital and stuff is, think about Shark Tank, the show. So, each person up there, or their venture capitalists, where they invest into startups to kind of like help them get from point A to point B. And so yeah, I became an engineering director and stuff there. Was there for a couple of years, and also too where my AI journey started as well. And so this was a couple of years ago. Leadership came to me and said, "Hey, Marlon, we just got access to this tool called OpenAI. Do you think you can use this tool to help us write grants faster?" So the company, well, we also had the venture side of things, but the company also had a nonprofit arm into as well, where we would do teaching and we would do workshops and things like that for entrepreneurs. And so, just like any other software engineer, I said, "Yeah, sure," having no clue what to do. I said, I'll figure it out. Fun fact: when we got access, GPT 2.5 was live then. So this is well before ChatGPT, and other things and stuff that we love and build on stuff today. So when I started building, GPT-3 had just launched. And fun facts here too as well. I was leading the team where we built the first AI grant writer on top of GPT-3. And so from there, I just been building and figuring out and teaching and coaching and all these things and stuff from there. So I'm a big fan also too. I love supporting engineers and future engineers like yourself. So I ran and own a online engineering conference by the name of Next Steps DevCon. It was a 3-day conference where we help engineers transition to engineering. We help current software engineers skill up and scale up in their current work, and then we also help engineers transition over to entrepreneurship. And so we launched that at the top of the pandemic, and it was pretty successful. While I was at Udacity too as well, I launched a scholarship program for underserved communities, basically granting them access. They were granted 10,000 scholarships over 5 years to Udacity courses for them to learn and teach themselves and continue their journey. And so yeah, and from here, my whole mission now is to help individuals, organizations, and government decrease the aspects of fear around artificial intelligence. I've learned when you decrease fear, you also increase creativity. And so when creativity is increased, and questions will start to be asked. Um, Things will start to kind of be put together in their own head, and then from there, we typically partner with them to help kind of build some of these applications. So for today, what we just kind of ran through the introduction stuff here. I want to hear a little bit more about you guys, and then we're going to start to kind of go down. We're going to start to kind of go into like the project scenarios and everything. So, like I said, I run AI Impact, which is also an AI agency. So we do education, but also too we do development. So I kind of talk through of how we approach that as well. And so we'll kind of go through some things of planning and making decisions when you come to a potential project, understanding your tool set and everything. Particularly today, it's going to be focused around with Azure and OCR, and then we're going to build like a little mini RAG application over in Google Colab. And then we're going to kind of like build it together. So, feel free, whatever IDE and stuff you're using, obviously you may have to, make some changes stuff there. I'll be building this thing in Python. And so feel free to follow, and then we'll get started. So before we dive in here, I want to hear from you guys. Anything? Do not leave me hanging and stuff here. I want to hear from you guys. Just tell me where you're from. Who you are, what you're working on, what's exciting project that you're working on. Are you enjoying and stuff? What's exciting you about the world of AI and stuff here. Talk to me.
I could go first
Hmm?
since I pulled up a little late. My name is Michelle. I'm from New York City, from Brooklyn, New York. I currently work as a technical account manager, so I'm not building anything fun. I'm building things for work. Yeah, that's pretty much it about me. I'm excited to do this challenge though because I want to gain new skills. Um, my job is a lot of data analysis, so I figure that there's things that are transferable that I can learn, build off of. That's me.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Michelle, do you have anything that you're interested in building? For your personal life or work, anything like that?
That sneaker app you built was pretty cool. If I thought I could do something like that, maybe I would build something like that.
Michelle, I'm gonna tell you right now, you definitely can because I built that. Fun fact, I'm going ahead and date myself. I started the application in 2011. Uh, fun fact
Okay.
about two, Fun fact about 2011, there was limited to no resources online to know and learn how to code.
Right.
So everything was still much in books. And so, through that dark journey, through that dark tunnel, I still figured out how to teach myself and build things. And so, yes, definitely, we're definitely living in a world right now where we have AI assistants, coding assistants, to help us. And so, absolutely, you could do that for sure.
That's true. Okay, damn. What's something cool that I would want to build? I really haven't put much thought into it. I think that might be the problem. I got to start with what I want to do, and maybe that'll encourage me to actually do something.
Cool. And you're in the right place because my whole goal here is to increase creativity and stuff else. So hopefully by the end of this, you'll have some ideas on what to do and what's possible and what you can do.
Yeah. Hopefully.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Beautiful. All right. Who's next? Let's see, Lily Beth. You're still on mute. Looks like it. or your mic is maybe not be connected. Mm-mm.
Teams is like that. Sorry, on behalf of Microsoft.
All right. So here we'll give her a chance and stuff to get situated. Who else? Who else? Just tell us about yourself. What are you working on? What are you building? Taya? Yeah.
Hi, I'm Taya. I live in Chicago. I'm a data analyst looking to get back into the workforce. So, like my main goal right now,
Nice.
I haven't really given any thought about something cool that I want to build. I think I've got a really long list of things that I'm interested in. I just haven't. I probably should narrow it down. I agree that the sneaker app looks really cool. I'd love to try my hand at something like that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean this the sneaker app thing, like, man, I go deeper in that tomorrow. But that was just all grit. That was just all grit to figure that out. I mean, that I had to during that time period, like the images here. Let me go back. So like the images stuff that you see here, so like you see like everything's kind of sitting on like these shelves, like virtually. Like I was taking these images off the internet and I was photoshopping them myself. I did that for 5,000 different images. And so that was just like, oh, great. And the reason so too, like I just had to figure it out. It was this idea basically became like a migraine in my head and it just wouldn't leave me alone. And so I was like, oh, okay, all right, I got it. Let me kind of dive into this thing. And so, yeah, that was all great. But this I could build now, like, this is like, I'll give you two examples. Me today, right now, with my skills and knowledge, I could build that in less than a week. You know, if you're a day one individual that knows nothing about like this world, I would say maximum 2 months you can figure it out. And so just understanding the right tools, the right tools and stuff that you need, and things that you can build with. Like you could know somebody with no knowledge as today right now could build it in 2 months. All right, Ms. Neal, did you get your mic together? No, not yet. No, let's see. Is there anything else you can do? Maybe try to switch the mics if you got headphones or anything. So could you use Power Apps to build something like that? You mean like Power BI, Microsoft Power BI, or would Taya, give me more clarity.
Like our Power Platform stuff. Like I actually don't know. I'm not familiar enough with them. Let me do a little
Here, Taya,
research.
Taya, you're,
Yeah.
you're still on mute. You're still on mute there.
Yeah, using Power Platform, it's one of those things that are on my long list of things that I find interesting.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. All right, all right. Let's see. I don't remember. Is that Yulia? Is that Yulia? Are you there? Are you available? Everything. Would definitely love to hear something for you. I know Miss Neil and stuff there is still trying to get her mic together. Miss Neil, if you got any headphones, AirPods, anything like that too as well, you can try that as well. And we got Rue as well. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Right, all right, all right. All right, Rue said, software developer looking to transition to AI engineering career. Deepen my knowledge on data. I'm excited about AI because it's the ability to predict the future. I like that. I like that, Rue. Definitely. We're definitely going to I'm gonna get into here. Just like I think we're at a definitely what a groundbreaking time and stuff, guys. And I think we're already starting to see like the advancement, you know, we're already starting to see the advancement and everything of how these things are, being used. Actually, real quick in the chat and everything, give me some tools that you guys have been, working with and building. So I imagine ChatGPT is probably one of them, or Microsoft Copilot, anything around Hugging Face, anything. Give me some tools that you guys have been using. Looking for some tools, looking tools. All right. Yeah, Roy say Hugging Face, VS Code. God, eh, I know we got some people looking to transition and stuff here. Guys, the work Microsoft has done with VS Code, and the Microsoft Coding 6 has just really been outstanding. Like it's just I mean, Microsoft is just a lovely partner and everything, just because they have so many things that they figured out. They're just on the right track, and we got individuals like Matt and stuff here too, just making those connections to make sure that we all understand like what's happening, what's been built and everything too as well. Okay, Talia said yeah, she's used Azure, ChatGPT. She's her language is Python and Power BI, along with Copilot. Nice. So and so. Ooh, there we go, Ray. NVIDIA AI Workbench. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Um, yes. NVIDIA has done some I mean, they're also leading the path too as well. They're doing some outstanding work over there as well. Carlos, welcome in. Carlos, man, I know I'm put you on the spot there, but you want to give us a quick intro of who you are, what you're working on, what you're building, and where you're from. Carlos, feel free to put it in the chat and stuff too as well. And while we're waiting on that too as well, guess I'll give you a fun fact and stuff here. As we got the open AIs, we got the Microsoft Copilots, we got the Hugging Face, we got Perplexities, we have all these tools. One of my favorite one right here that a lot of people are that's not talking about, and they're doing a tremendous amount of work is the guys over there, Zapier. Zapier right now produces 10 million AI tasks per month. That makes them the largest non-AI focused company. And so they're building stuff over there, and so they're doing some outstanding work. And so also too, this also interests us into the door where you don't have to be a software engineer to build some of these things and figure out a lot of aspects around artificial intelligence, particularly when it comes to automation and tasks. And so so they're just doing some outstanding work and everything. So Lily says she's all right, working on the mic. Okay, cool. All right. So quick history, guys. The world and stuff we're living in right now with artificial intelligence and just the growth in it, like this is very unique and everything, but also too, we've kind of seen some similar paths and stuff here. So for example, the internet and everything, this thing right here is called like the adoption curve. And so typically any large and new technology kind of goes through this adoption curves when it comes to like your everyday user, businesses, organizations, governments, and so on and so on. And so typically there's this big innovation trigger, like, oh my God, this is the new thing. This is about to change everything. Life is about to be amazing and never the same. And so it kind of goes up into this hype cycle. And then kind of like it hits a peak. And so typically that peak is the misunderstanding of what we can do today with the expectations to typically of consumers. And so then people start feeling like, oh, this is not as big or this is not as strong as we thought it was going to be. And then it kind of starts to kind of like go down. And so from there, things stuff can, start to kind of get interesting. But typically large platforms, large technologies typically kind of start to plateau and stuff over years. And around the internet, this is kind of where you start to see, things and stuff that we even still use today from your Facebook/Meta, your Google, Twitter, different platforms and so on and so on. Same thing happened with the cloud. When the cloud stuff first got here too as well, it was very, very, very expensive. And so a lot of organizations couldn't afford it. They understood the power and the need and stuff of it. And then people got excited, and it's kind of go with kind of this same adoption rate. But even now, but now today we live and breathe with tools like Azure. If you have an iPhone, you have Apple Cloud and stuff on your device, and different aspects like that. And also, too, very, very similar thing with mobile stuff happened. I remember a time, and this is going to date me as well. Remember a time when App Store launched, and you could scroll to the bottom of the App Store. And so, that was fun. And also too, a lot of these technologies where we're just kind of talk about from the internet to the cloud to mobile. I would kind of say a lot of these were actually, I'm not gonna give you the answer, but I would say like, but it kind of goes to the similar thing. Uh, with AI, it's a slight difference and stuff here. I definitely want to hear from you guys and everything. So when it comes to like the adoption curve and stuff, the innovation adoption curve, it goes through the same process, but this is also increasing typically more than usual. Any guesses why? Everything. So we see things like the internet, we see things like this in the smartphone, but tools around, like OpenAI, BART, Microsoft Copilot, the adoption rate here is a little bit different. It's scaling quite faster and more higher, typically than usual. Any guesses why? There's no wrong answers and stuff here.
I think because it's accessible to everybody.
And that right there is the answer. Yes, spot on. Appreciate that, Talia. It's the first time in history where we've seen where the everyday person gets to build with it as it's been launched. And so we see this with your everyday, systems like ChatGPT, and so on, so on, so on. Typically, in the early days in the mobile area, you had to be a software engineer to be able to build some of these applications, or you had to be a large company. Same thing with the cloud, and same with the internet too as well. The internet was definitely kind of like a lockdown place for quite some time. Even before it was actually like web addresses. You just had IP addresses. So for a while hey Maria, welcome in. For a while there wasn't like websites. It was just like IP addresses. So it wasn't on Amazon.com for quite some time. It was 978.442.266, and that will point you to a particular area inside the internet. And so, but this right here, this is different, and this is why, guys, we're at a very, very, very unique time period. Okay. So going through this kind of like this similar hype cycle and stuff like that we go to. So here's a graph right here, where we have some of our favorite open source and closed source models and everything. So, doing this since 2022. We have, everything from our Palms and everything to UPalm to GPT-4s to our Claude, GPT 3.5 Turbo, Llama 3, all different things. Very, very interesting thing though, it's starting to kind of like plateau, kind of very similar, kind of, it's starting to plateau, kind of very similar to like with, this graph and everything that we just kind of looked at. Here's the fun part though. This is where life changed. This is world change. So it's starting to plateau. Anytime it's starting to kind of plateau and kind of get into this area right here, this where the builders come into play. This is where, you start to see your unicorn startups. This is where you start to see your innovations. This is where you start to see, really the work and stuff being done, and built. And so people really, really building solutions. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we're at this time. This right now is where life change. This is where, you can build a solution, capture X amount of customers. And all of a sudden you've built a solution of value that the world, uses, and love. And so we're at this time and stuff right now. And so this graph right here signifies that, we're basically hitting kind of like a plateau on the innovation side when it comes to some of these models. But this is not a bad thing. It's typically how things go, and this is a beautiful time period. I mean, this is right now. This is where transitioning and learning skill sets, and going ahead and building that solution, that idea, that you had for quite some time. I mean, this is the time. Stuff now. And I would say, like, there is no easier time to build and execute stuff, a lot of these solutions, to as well. And so, yeah, it's a beautiful time to be alive and stuff here. So, all right, here we go. We're going to dive in stuff here. I'm going to talk about a little bit, about AI impact and stuff, the agency that we have. We have a very unique approach to building AI solutions. So, typically, and feel free, guys, if you guys got any questions, kind of wanting me to go back to a certain slide and everything, feel free to dive in and stuff here. And so yeah, at APEC, we do a education first approach. We're basically in a world right now where everybody's trying to figure this out. So don't feel like you're behind. Don't feel like, man, I wish I would have started 5 years ago, like Marlon. You are at the right place and stuff at the right time. And so the way I like to look at it, if you're a fan of sports and everything, with baseball, we're pretty much at the bottom of the first. And we have a while and stuff to go. And so with that, over here, we understand that just a lot of customers and a lot of individuals are trying to figure this out, and that also has fear, too, as well. And so people want to integrate and people want to do. They hear what's possible, and okay, if I can, automate this, if I can, build, a system that can automate my emails, and, if I can build, an application that can, pull in the information from our documents and just kind of give a nice response, and I'm like, man, that'd be awesome and everything. And so anytime a new technology and stuff comes and everything, you have some good information, you have some, bad information. And so to kind of like Samantha, we do a education first approach. And so typically what we do is companies reach out to us as they're trying to look to learn more and understand. And so we do workshops and everything. So workshops, kind of like what you're in yourself right now. And so like I mentioned earlier, for the individual stuff who just came a little bit late, as of right now, we've done 60 plus engagements over like the last 12 to 14 months, all around Gen AI. And so again, I've talked to CTOs, I've talked to CEOs, I've talked to governments, and guys, everybody's trying to figure this out, so you're definitely at the right place and stuff at the right time. With that, with the education first approach or anything, then from there, that gives a good insight of what the organizations and companies are looking for and what their fears are, what the concerns are. So, for example, if you're a medical practice and everything, your concerns are things probably around being HIPAA compliant, and also to privacy, as well, and also efficiency, so, if you're building some type of like AI solution and it's going to respond to, their clients, their customers, or the patients and everything, it has to be as accurate, as possible, but, if you are a, if you are a, art museum, creativity, and not necessarily like strict answers, probably a little bit working more in your favor and everything. And so through these workshops, we kind of get an understanding, of what the signal stuff is, for these institutions. From there, we create a plan. We ask and stuff, kind of like dive into like, what's the problem? What are they looking to do? By the end of that workshop, again, we've already kind of eliminated the fear, and now the creativity is just really just sparking and stuff there. So by now they're already coming to us of like, okay, can you guys build this? Is it possible to do this? And so by then we're just kind of like, circling which ones and be a good one to start. I'll give you some examples of stuff here in a second. And then from one bit approach, we've already started to see some amazing results. So kind of going through this process, and so we're already seeing a client experience have already had a 40% increase in operational, efficiencies. So when I say operational, think about things about like customer engagement, client engagement. So everything from like your emails, emailing your customers to your phone interactions, and things like that. Any questions or anything before I move forward? Any thoughts?
Just a quick comment. That's a great overview of the just general development process too. I mean, that's how you figure it out, what people need, where they're at, and how to take them there. So That's really helpful for this crowd.
Yeah, definitely. And I would say this too, guys. If you're looking to, building, your own agency, or if you're just looking to become, just amazing problem solver, uh, you're probably going to have to have some type of education first mindset, probably for the next decade. I would say the next 5 years minimum, but the next decade, just because how fast, things are moving. So here, let's go back here. So because this is just 2022, 2022, um, and so from there, in the next from 2 years from there, now we've had an introduction to so many new different models. I mean, think about the first time you heard about ChatGPT, what was it, like 2 years ago and stuff now, and compared to like what it is, what's possible and stuff today. I mean, OpenAI just announced, and I was, super excited about it. I mean, OpenAI just announced the advanced voice mode, in ChatGPT, which allows you to have, kind of like long form conversation, all through the application. And that right there is going to have so many different, and also too, they just announced what's today? The third on the first, real-time API, as well. So the ability to have long form conversations, without lag and via API is just unbelievable. And so, these things are moving so fast. But again, it's, typically we are a country where we build the car before the seatbelt. And also, so, it's going to these tools and stuff are here. We have access to them, and we can build with them. But if you're building this for your organization, if you're building this for yourself, if you're building this for your client, then you definitely will have to integrate some type of education, along this process. Thoughts, comments, guys, I definitely want to hear some of your thoughts, comments, or anything. Definitely keep this engaging, too, as well. And so, thoughts, comments, or anything before I move forward. Maria, welcome in. All right, all right. I'm gonna move forward this stuff here. All right, so we're gonna kind of start this the approach and stuff here. So, um, through one of the workshops that I did, a client reached out to me. I didn't know this. So world famous museum, and the head of IT was in the audience, and I had no clue that they were in the audience. And so they came to me afterwards and say like, hey, we would love to talk to you about how we can build some tools and everything over at the museum. And so I said, hey, for sure. And so let's talk about it. So can't name the museum and stuff right now. But I would say it's a world famous museum, and they acquired a bunch of letters from the founder of the museum, from the foundation. So they acquired like 10,000 letters, and so these are letters basically simply just like communication and things. So like this is like letters from like late 1800s up into like the early 1900s. And so these are letters. And so I'm reading through some of these letters, and like, man, I'm thinking like, oh my God, like these are like text messages. These are just like, text messages, like these are just emails. But again, this is like late 1800s. So, a lot of these were either like handwritten, typed, and things like that. And so I was like, oh man, like this is amazing. And they acquired like 10,000 of it. And so, they said, hey, we would love to, figure out a way how to, kind of like digitize these letters, and then, kind of create like a conversational AI system on top of it that will give our visitors a chance to experience and talk to, about and learn things about the founder. So I was like, man, this sounds great. It sounds amazing and stuff like, we can figure it out. Immediately we kind of started going to go through the process, and we were talking. I saw some hurdles very quickly. One of those hurdles was like, okay, with it being digitized, typed, and stuff, letters, okay, man, okay, accuracy is one of those things we got to figure out. And as we was talking, they were saying like, hey, these letters are very old. So some of these letters are damaged. Some of these letters have been through like fires. Some of these letters have water damage, things like that. So I was like, okay, well, this is about to be interesting. And then also too, it is a museum, and so they want to kind of keep things, fairly cost effective and everything. So I said, okay, let's figure this out. Um, so from there, typically what we do is we kind of go through like this whole process. So we go through our research and, trying to figure out, like, all right, how do we read the letters in just like different conditions, formats, and also with like handwritten. So, when I say formats and everything, some of these letters are PDF, some of these letters are JPEG, some of these letters are PNG. And so I'm like, okay, well, how do we read those? And then some of these letters are handwritten, and when I say handwritten, they're like in cursive. And so if you just imagine like that type of like typography and stuff like that back then, I mean, it was like serious cursive, like they were like committed to it. And so I was like, okay, all right, this is going to be interesting. And then again, like a lot of these letters have different conditions, so it might be like a burn stain, on top of one of these letters and everything. It may be a big watermark. Okay, like how do we create, accuracy around those type of conditions? And then next is like, we got to figure out, like how to vectorize this. Translate this information and kind of like store it into a vector database. So that's the next thing we got to figure out. And then as we're talking to the client, they said like, hey, we want to build the solution, but hey, Marlon, look at this as like a V1 to probably 10 other applications that we better build this on top of. And I said, okay, so we're going to start with this. Yeah. So also too, that kind of like puts it back in my engineering mind. It's like, okay, we got to make sure the foundation's right. We got to make sure the foundation's right, they need to build on top of. So like once you have the foundation, and, with things like vector database, you're able to build, several different things around like multi-model experiences. And then from there, we kind of go through the process, like, picking the right tools and, figuring it out and, alternates and trade-offs and things like that. Actually, any questions, anything before I move forward? Questions, thoughts? Ron, what does that even mean? Like anything? No wrong for you back here. Taya, I see you're over there. You're smiling. You got anything?
I'm just wondering if kids will ever need to learn cursive.
That's a good one. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be needed and stuff here in the future.
You need computers to read the old stuff. You need computers to read cursive from, centuries past.
So watch this, Matt. I don't know if you was peeking at my slides or something like that. But that's exactly and stuff the moment in history and stuff that we are. So typically, history's built and created and stored, through multiple different people. So historians, biographers, journalists, architects, and so they was able to kind of like gather all this information, write books from it, novels, movies, blogs, like all different things to kind of like store, certain artifacts and everything in history, and stuff in moment of times. And, this is kind of like the world stuff we lived in. Guys, this right now is very much changing. We're about to live in a world right now where software engineers will be the new writers of history. And so, you'll have machine learning engineers who are going to, create algorithms and stuff and everything, to analyze, historic data, everything from images to, from writing. You're going to have MLP professionals, MLP engineers, everything. They will make sure like identifying languages and everything. So, how do you translate something, from Arabic over into a vector database into English? So this is something that, NLP engineers have only not figured out, but also, is working on to as well. Computer vision, as well, create computer vision, be able to analyze images, analyze, different components of history, and kind of like give it, meaning, give it information, give it, kind of like metadata of like, what's happening, what's they're looking at. And then just simply too, this the integration of, AI systems. So, with that, we'll need some type of Front end, we'll need some type of like view. We'll need some type of experience, interaction, everything with these components of history. And so, we're living in a world right now, like, I mean, this is a pivotal time and stuff for history of like, individuals like yourself will, become, some of like the new history writers. And so, what's your thoughts and stuff here? And also too, guys, I'll make this personal, stuff for you guys. Um, what you'll learn today, and we're gonna just we'll cover like the basics and everything, and we'll set up things and we kind of go in deeper at different time, but we can cover the basics. But what you learn today, I mean, we're gonna build, a RAG application, and if you don't know what RAG is or anything, I'll explain the stuff what it is here in a second. But we're gonna build a RAG application, and we're basically a RAG is just simply where you can just store information for multiple different sources or one source. And then kind of do a retrieval process, and kind of you can build your like this is called like your own version of like ChatGPT where you can conversate with, or it can be a multi-modal aspect where it can it can be vocal and things like that. But I mean, imagine a world now, guys, where like you'll be able to build the history of your family inside of like an AI model or inside of an AI chat system or whatever it may be. And so, everything from birth dates to letters that you got from grandma, experiences that you had with your favorite auntie, and just like all these different things. And so you be able to store this, and you can store this where, your great nieces, your cousins, your kids will be able to read through, experience with, engage with, like not like done before. And so this is why I say, history moving forward and not like forever be changed. And so not only just from that context, but also too on the institution side too as well, where I think, I worked in education, so I think education not only but it will have to change. And so, we're going to live in a world where just like all of your books, everything on different subjects, all of your books, all of your presentations, all your papers and everything will basically be able to you'll be able to like, you just be able to read from it. You'll be able to listen to it. You'll be able to engage and stuff with it. We haven't had that experience as of yet where you can ask questions, through your favorite book or through a book that's like extremely, complicated, as you're, in school, in class, in your job and stuff where it may be. And so, this is the world that we're advancing towards and everything. And it's super, super exciting. Thoughts, questions, concerns. Well, this sounds great, but I watched the Terminator. I'm not too certain and stuff here. So, Taya, I just saw you. You gave a big head shake and stuff there.
Right. I immediately started thinking of like Terminator and iRobot. It sounds scary.
Yeah, I will say this too as well. Technology and invention and progression in society is typically never the issue. It's never, it doesn't, it's not binary. It doesn't have a good or bad side. It just is. But also too, it's what makes things go left and makes things go right is just human intention. And so, you can give the most beautiful tool to someone with the wrong intentions, and they will use it, in a negative way. And you can give beautiful tools to somebody the right attention, and they can change the world, and stuff. And so, I think we're seeing that, even day every day and stuff now with social media and podcasts and things like that. And so, it's the human intention and stuff about those things. And so, yeah, Matt.
Yeah, I'm really doing my best to try to hang back and let the learners get 100% of you today without me interrupting. But I'm very engaged, and I think at this moment I do want to call out, if folks are preparing for the Innovation Challenge Hackathon, 25% of the score for your project is going to be on the responsible AI standard, whether or not you've considered it. In Microsoft, when we do things, it's not responsible AI is like, yeah, we all want to be good people. We all want to think about it the right way. In software development, you put processes in place. You have tools that review. It's not just, hey, let's think about being nice, but I'll go ahead and put some links in the chat that will be helpful. Don't distract yourself right now. Pay attention to Marlon. But I just want to call out the Microsoft Responsible AI Standard is very much about, hey man, let's get some seatbelts in here before we start driving this car too fast. Love that. I hadn't heard that analogy before. I love that one, Marlon. So.
Yeah, I appreciate that. No, definitely. It's I mean, it's a crucial time, so for history. It's an exciting time. It is heartwarming to see people are starting to think about the seatbelt, earlier than usual, with certain technologies that we experience. And so, like Matt just said, being able to, involve yourself in the innovation challenge. And one of the aspects of that is like, hey, what's your thoughts and stuff around, the safety and stuff, as you're building this too as well. And so, actually, that's a good question. Do you guys have any concerns around just like how AI is moving, the safety around those things? Like what are some of your concerns, or what are your thoughts? Yeah, what are your thoughts stuff there? No wrong answers and stuff here.
Well, I feel like as a person of color, I'm always concerned about bias.
You said
Yeah,
value,
bias.
bias. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is definitely one of those huge things around, bias. Actually, real quick, just by show of hands, raise your hand. Do you guys understand how large language models are created? If you do understand how large language models created, raise your hand.
I do a partial hand raise.
Okay, no, that's good to know. All right, and that's good to know. So I do this so real quick. So large language models, aka LLMs, or essentially a consortium of texts that is trained as recently, mostly from the internet. And so how this there's three main steps. There's several steps to it, but I'm breaking it down in three. And so how large language models are created. The first step is to retrieve. And so basically you go retrieve a set of data and an amount of data. So, one of the unique things OpenAI have done, first in this time is basically they figure out a way how to copy the internet and all this text. And that is incredibly ridiculously difficult to do. And it's really difficult to copy still one website. And so basically what he did is they copy, the internet, and they got all of this like information, this data, things like that. The second step is to train the model. Anything. So when it's under train the model, basically you're taking this text and you're identifying this text. So basically the text is saying like, hey, this set of text is music. Over here, these are recipes. Over here, these are, books. Over here, these are events descriptions or YouTube descriptions or whatever it may be. And so, that right there is training the model. And then the third step, the third step is the third step is tuning the model. And so kind of going through the same process, when it's like recipes, everything you say, okay, now these recipes over here, like these over here are cakes. This cake right here is a recipe for pound cake. The ingredients in pound cake, are X, Y, and Z. And so, you need eggs, you need flour, you need milk, and stuff like that. That is tuning the model. You're making it more defined. And so that process is how you create, but it's just like a large language model. And so from there, 2017, Google wrote a research paper called Attention is All You Need, where they introduced a thing called transformers. And so that's kind of where everything changed. And so just kind of like a quick analogy of transformers and how they work. Typically NLP systems, AI systems will read things before like we do, line by line. So kind of going line by line is how we like read information, which is fine and everything because it's how we read it. But it's also too, it's for a computer, it's very slow. And so what Transformers said, you know what we're going to do is we're going to create a bunch of mini computers, and those mini computers are going to read different sections of the text. And then after they read and understand the text, they're going to summarize it together or what the text means and what it is. That process is a lot quicker, to do so. And so the combination of those two things, is where we kind of get to things like ChatGPT. And so, this is why it has a nice amount of information, of like around a very similar topics. But also too is where you kind of start to create things like prompting, because then you have to understand how to get the maximum output, of these LLMs. And so you do that by being very specific, or answering, kind of unique questions, and so additionally to that, I would imagine if you don't, does anybody know what vectors are? Give me a raise of hand if you know what a vector is. All right. So this is how vectors work. Imagine a library. Let's say you got a library. You got a library with all your favorite books and everything. And so you got a library. You got different categories stuff for the book. You got characters of the book. You got stories of the books, themes, and so on, so on, so on, so on. And so of those books and everything, you're gonna have you got books and authors that are kind of write similar things. They write similar stories. They're gonna write some things around characters. They're gonna write just kind of similar things. How the embedding process works and everything is basically they take all of the information. They take the author, they take the character, they take the theme stuff of the book, what it's talked about, and they turn it into like a numerical code. So once you do that, that right there is called a vector. And so once you have that, now it has a numerical understanding of how to find similar topics, how to find similar books. It's also two is now very similar. Spotify just announced, and it just launched in the US, I think like a week or two ago. Spotify just announced an AI playlist assistant. And so basically, you can just give it a like, hey, I want a playlist. I got a bunch of friends coming over and we're about to have a barbecue. And from there, it will create, a different amount of song stuff on your behalf. And it goes through the same process of vector because it has a bunch of information and understanding. It had a bunch of understanding and understanding of how each everything kind of connects, to the next song, to the next song, to the next song. So, okay, how this artist and everything, it is and everything, what the song is about, the tone of the song, beats per minute, things like that. And so basically it gives the computer easy access to understand, language and everything very similar into how we do, but also quicker and more efficient and everything for the computer. And so, that whole process, itself is called vectors, and that's how vectors work. All right. And so now we're gonna sort of kind of get in some of the deep dive and stuff things up here. Anybody know what OCR is? By raise of hand. Anybody know what OCR is? Taya, talk to me. Uh, Ms. Neal, did you ever get your mic together? She unmuted. Doesn't look like it. Okay, Taya, talk to us.
That's optical character recognition.
Yeah. Any examples? Yeah, go ahead.
I had to use it a lot when I was I learned how to use it first in Adobe Document. We scanned a bunch of really old. This was a long time ago. I was working as a paralegal. We had scanned a bunch of really old FBI reports, and they were all typewritten back in I think like the 60s. So we scanned them all and we ran through OCR so that we could search them much easier.
Beautiful, beautiful. Right on the money. So there. So, actually here, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and let me reshare different page and stuff over here. So throughout this, throughout, our development process, as we're like building and, trying to figure things out, I mentioned before that we have to kind of go through like research. We got to get an understanding of, what tools we're going to use, how how we're going to use them, how they're available, pros and cons, of such and everything, all these tools. And so here, I'm going to share a document and stuff with you guys here in a second. This is one of our processes when it comes to OCR. It's a very heavy breakdown and stuff of what it is. All right. All right. Can you guys see my screen here? All right, cool. All right. So with the client and stuff that reached out to us, the museum, they reached out to us and, they said, we're going through this, the process again. They was like, hey, we're trying to figure out, we got these letters and we want them, be able to be digitized, but also too, as well, like, they're all not in the same condition. They all different formats, things like that. And so, Ty is spot on the money. It's, OCR stands for optical character recognition. And so from there, there's a bunch of different tools that you can use, with OCR. So, Azure, has one, GCP, which is Google Cloud. They have a tool, AWS, Amazon, they have a tool. And there's definitely a bunch of different other companies, institutions. And so, our team, we kind of got to go through this process of like understanding, what's the best tool to use, thing for this project. And, this is like, very key and stuff here. And so we're going to go through this together. So here, so, we did analysis and stuff of it. Shout out to my man David and stuff that was on my team and stuff. We did a awesome job and stuff breaking this down. So we did analysis and stuff here and stuff with it. So we got pros and cons. So Microsoft Azure, everything, OCR and everything. Some of the pros stuff here is cost effective. It has handwritten recognition. Beautiful. It's kind of a good trick and stuff there. It's one of the things that, we need and stuff we're looking for. It's a seamless integration, thing for Azure, or for things that Azure storage functions and, cognitive search. It has a beautiful support on the scalability side. Okay, we're going to do that. So I remember guys I mentioned too as well. The client, they said they have like 10,000 of these letters, and so we need to be able to scale that, and we're definitely about to, we're not about to do this like one by one as well. So it's best for organizations that's already using Azure, which they are, and those are looking for cost-effective, effective solutions and scalable for OCR solutions. And everything. GCP, they also have, a tool into as well. And so some of the pros stuff there, they do a very good job around accuracy, integration, and they have some machine learning, enhancements too as well. And so they're also kind of good for, scaling as well. One of the cons stuff there is, it's not as cost effective, as Azure, OCR stuff here. So we go through this process and then, we kind of make a final recommendation, but also too, here we go. We create, we go very deep, so too, we need the best understanding of the tools and stuff we're going to use. This is a world right now where there's just like so many tools and so many opportunities of what you can do. And so, we spend this time understanding of like what all the stuff is available to us. And so we break it down, everything on the provider, we do an overview and stuff of it, some of the key features, the integration scalability, which typically is, is been used for in the past and what it's good at, some of the, recommendations. And then we also kind of like start to add in like the costs, text detection, handwritten detection, as well. And then, what can we do with the free tier to start off, as well. We always try to like, maximize that. And then some of the additional features, and again, we're going to have several thousand letters and stuff that we'll be processing, so we need some type of like batch understanding, as well. And then we break down, and this is don't feel like you need to copy anything or text anything. I'll share this with you guys and everything after the call and stuff here. So then we break down too, like the implementation process of, Microsoft Azure, so obviously, first step is, so from here is to, kind of create your Azure account. And then we have to create a computer vision resource, and kind of go into the Azure portal. And then, we have to set up the subscription. Actually here, I want to make a note and stuff here. So the subscriptions it's called F0 and F1, I believe, on the Azure side of things. So as of right now, I had some error around, and we'll do stuff here in a second. I had some error of just like kind of getting proper responses with the free tier, but also too when I changed to the paid tier of it, I was still like the process still fell underneath the free tier. So you might just have to set up a paid account as you're kind of building these things, but the cost and everything will still kind of fall into the free tier. And then we got to set up a resource group, as well, and then what region and stuff you're in, everything. You always kind of want to like double check and stuff here, kind of like check your cloud status and everything. So sometimes certain regions are out. So if you might be on the U.S. East Coast, and the U.S. East Coast right now, deployment side of things are kind of down, and so you might want to switch to like the U.S. West Coast. And we're gonna go through here in a second. So I just kind of talked about pricing tier, and then we're going to create, and we're going to get endpoint, so development environment. We'll kind of go through all these things up here in a second. So the multiple documents. Okay, cool. So we also create some of like the other notable providers, too as well. So Ty just mentioned Adobe. So we have them into as well. So kind of same thing, overview, key features, cost, integration, scalability, what they're ideal for. So Adobe typically is like a general purpose for the OCRs, needing to PDF or PDF editing and management, within the Adobe systems. Also too, you have ABBYY. They're pretty good. They have very high accuracy, and also too, they support like over 200 languages too as well. Amazon, I mentioned them. AWS, they have text track, and so they have a very nice system too as well. Everything cost is a little bit higher than everything on the AWS side as well. And then we got Tesseract OCR too as well. So how does OCR work and everything? So the technology itself is just like a step-by-step character recognition. And like, guys, this is key, and stuff here. To be able to do this, step by step. I mean, it's letter by letter by letter by letter optimization and understanding. And then it puts the entire sentence together, and then it puts the entire paragraph together, which typically turns into a document. And so, I mean, it takes that whole process and everything, step by step. And it's amazing and everything, especially when you're doing this for, 10,000 files or so. And so it does a pre-processing and everything. So the image is prepared, analyzed, and it's enhanced and everything if necessary. So it does the enhancing on its own self, and then it tries its best to remove unwanted marks and everything as it's analyzing on the computer vision. Try to remove unwanted marks and everything. Not perfect and everything. So I'm gonna show you some example stuff here. And then also too, it will convert all images and everything into black and white and everything. It's easier and everything for the computer itself to read and understand and stuff that. And then it has like segmentation. On the character recognition process, so the OCR itself, it compares these characters in the image with a set of predefined patterns, determinants, and templates in its own database and everything. So it uses certain algorithms to help with this process. And then, kind of loops and everything, per letter, per sentence, per letter, per word, per sentence, and kind of go those, process. And then there's a post-processing, aspect as well. So it checks what language stuff it is, puts everything into either like a dictionary or a JSON. But I like one of the beautiful things as well, it gives you its accuracy response. And so, it will give you like, okay, we're like, it's 97% sure that this is, what it's seeing. Really. And then you can do output. So you can do, output formatting. You can do it, you can transfer all the information over to, a JSON. You can do it over to a vector database. You can do it just like all the different tags, just that. So there is a bunch of there's a bunch of benefits and buster like institutions and stuff like that who are, using anything or looking to use, OCR. It's not a widely adopted tool, which is also good for, you guys and stuff as well who are looking to transition, learn more about AI engineering, because this right here, you make yourself valuable, extremely, because there are several needed opportunities to build on top of us and stuff here. But as anything else, and it also has some limits, as well. It can struggle with accuracy, as well. And so sometimes one of the things that we had to do for the client is that we had to write and build additional scripts If basically if one of the letters that we have, if a letter falls below if a letter falls below the entire letter falls below 90% accuracy, it kicks it out. Everything. So it kicks it out and everything, and it puts it into like a separate category. And then we write additional scripts on top of that to kind of like maximize, to try to like, to increase that 90% as well. And so, this is also too, how you, kind of get the maximum amount of value around accuracy. Language and script, variations. And so, like one of the tools mentioned earlier, there's like 200 languages supported, anything, but, it does have its challenges and stuff there, so, transitioning, translating something into, Chinese, on the OCR side over to English and trying to import that into, a database like that, it can have its challenges. And so it's something, to be concerned about. And then, security concerns, a lot of these times we're, handling sensitive data and everything. And so, I mean, think about things, everything from social security cards to data, to driver's license, all these things can be extracted and, you're starting to, some type of technology, even vectorize everything with certain information. So, there can be some security concerns there. And then we got some other related technologies too as well. They're similar, thing to OCR. You got ICR, which is character recognition. It's proposed to be an advanced OCR and everything. I haven't seen too many benefits and stuff of doing so, anything. And so, and also too, it's not a widely adopted technology and stuff as of yet. And then you got optical mark recognition, OMR, which detects, human mark data, from documents such as checkboxes and bubbles. So imagine, if you want to build a system that will extract W-9 forms, information from there, everything. So in W-9 forms, you got like a lot of check boxes, and stuff. You got handwritten, everything inside boxes and everything. So, things like that can be used for that and everything. NLP is just simply, the understanding of text, and analysis of such and everything, but also too, NLP kind of gives you additional benefits around like sentiment analysis, summarization, chatbots, virtual assistant, things like that. So we got document layout analysis, name entity recognition, image classifications, along with object detections, everything. So imagine, text along with images and everything. So that can be anything like a recipe, cooking book and everything. So if you got like a picture going back to like the pound cake example, you have, something like this that we use get understanding of the cake itself. And then also too, what is reading throughout the recipe. Right. And so, and then we have automatic speech recognition, everything. I mean, we use these things kind of every day, everything from our Series to, our Alexas and things like that. Scene tech recognition. And so this is like, taking things like street signs, billboards, product labels and everything, and kind of like get an understanding of like kind of what's going on in like, inside this world as well. RPA is one of my favorite kind of upcoming things too as well. So, it's basically you're giving RPA is a combined tool of AI that can automate in like repetitive tasks. And so, think about on the email side of things and everything. We're talking about, a client can email something asking for a refund. Your system could verify the refund, check the shipping label. It can verify, okay, that item actually did never get to them, and then it can process a refund, kind of all, in automation. And then we got in text recognition, pattern recognition, algorithms, and semantic parsing and everything. And so, and then some of the other top, vendors and providers and things around OCR, as well, and so include here. So I'll share this doc with you, and stuff here, after the class. That's up here. But here, let's start the dive and stuff and stuff here. I'm going to go ahead and sign in and stuff here. So thoughts while I'm everything signed up. Also too, like once you've been sitting for a while, Azure will sign you out of everything. So just security practice and everything. So I'm kind of signing back in here. Everything. But thoughts while I'm getting all this stuff set up.
How long does the process take to go through that sort of evaluation usually? If these folks are getting ready for a hackathon and they got 2 weeks to build something, how do you shrink that process too?
When you say process, what are you alluding to? Are you talking about the
I'm t-
building process?
no, I'm not no talking more about just the sort of evaluating which tool to use. I mean, in the simple case, just go with GCP OCR or Azure OCR. But then I mean, you had a pretty long list of other stuff that I learned a lot too, just watching that. But how much
Yeah.
time do you give yourself and the client to go through that?
I'm gonna answer this in two ways. I'm gonna answer this
Yeah.
from a client side of things, and then I'm gonna answer this from a participating in a hackathon. I participated in a hackathon a couple weeks ago. That was fun. I haven't done one of those in a while. Um, and so on the client side of things, typically I give myself you give myself in a team like a week. Give yourself like a week and everything to kind of like do a proper deep dive and understanding. But also too, that's also after you have all the necessary information, requirements, everything from the client as well. With that process itself could take a few weeks and depending on stuff who your client was. But when you kind of like measuring and get an understanding of all the tool stuff that you need and you need to build on top of, typically we give ourselves like a week to do so, and then we present and stuff what we have and what we understand, back to the client and everything with the steps and everything to move forward. And then on the um on the hackathon side of things, um, okay, I'll say this: the hackathon I participated in a government federal government AI hackathon. And the goal was to basically build AI solutions for government websites that they gave us and everything. So we had things like data.gov, we had like the I think like weather.gov, and we had a few others. And so we got data.gov. And so basically what we in the building was just like a RAG application that will take all the data that it already had inside data.gov via API, send embed all of that data and then just set up a quick and retrieval process. And so basically the output was you go to data.gov and say like, hey, do you have any data on school floodings in the state of Illinois? Everything. And so it would do its embedding process and everything. You would query and then it would respond with the data and stuff that it would have and everything. And so in that process, like that was like a 5 hour, 4 or 5 hour hackathon, and stuff like that. So in that type of scenario environment, maximum hour. It's just you got to go maximum hour. You got to give yourself time. To build something's going to break. Something's going to happen. I mean, it may happen today and everything. Something every single time. And so we was able to kind of like build an output. But when you're in a hackathon, definitely you got to cut short things short. And then luckily too, a lot of times too, when you're in a hackathon, like you're going to be like, if it's Microsoft, you have no choice but to use Azure and everything. And so like that kind of like eliminates some of your, research and everything. And then from there, you just kind of focus on like the other tools inside of the Microsoft ecosystem to use.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt.
Yeah. So sometimes having those constraints is actually helpful. I mean, if the client tells you, don't look at these things, I'm not going to use them, that helps too. And to be honest, within the rules of the hackathon, you can use other stuff. It just has to be mostly Azure. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I mean, Azure is an open platform. You can hook other things in there, but yeah, the judges are looking at Azure.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. All right. All right. Okay, cool. So let me bring this up. Mm, all right. All right, there we go. Can you guys see my screen? See if I can. All right, beautiful. All right, cool. So here we are, guys. If you want to follow along and stuff here, just actually let me I'll put this link and stuff here in the chat. I am in Azure's AI Document Intelligence Studio. Uh-oh. Hey Matt, my chat disappeared. Do you
Oh,
have
really?
it? Because I shared the, oh wait, there it is. Got
Got
it.
it back? Okay. Teams, sorry.
All right, so here we go. All right. So there is the link. So guys, definitely feel free to tag along and stuff here. And I'm going to pull up. I got permission to use one of the client's actual letters and examples. And I'll pull it up too as well. And then also too, it gives you some time to get logged in. Right. Okay. Oh, there we go. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. All right. So we're gonna start with the sample stuff here. All right, guys. So you guys just still see my screen, correct? All right. So here we go. We got a document. So we got here. These are one of the samples and everything provided by Microsoft. So we got a document and over here. So over here we got we just it's so simple, we say this is a title, we got a text, we got the page objects, we got some other information, and look at this, we got some check boxes and stuff here, too as well. And so so this is like an example and stuff of one of the documents. So we're gonna do here, we're just gonna run an analysis and everything, aka we're just basically running the program and stuff here. And look at this, we'll get our results and stuff over here. So over here, we got the page header and it has the text and stuff here. So again, guys, remember it goes through this OCR process of like letter by letter, letter by letter that translate into word by word that translate, into sentence by sentence, and stuff here. And so we got the page header and stuff here. We got the title that says, this is title, everything. So it has the understanding over here, and got the section, it has the text and stuff over here. So literally it's broken down, each segment and stuff of this document. And look at this, it understands over here that this is a column, as well. So understand goes through the whole OCR process, understand that it's a column, everything using computer vision, and it retrieves, that table too as well. And then we have the image and stuff over here too as well. So it brings it all in. It brings it all in, which is just beautiful. So I want to go a little bit further. Here we go. So look at the JSON and stuff here. You got the JSON stuff on this side over here. This right here, what gets me excited. This right here, like where the accuracy component and stuff like really falls into play. So look at this. We got the confidence score right here of just the word this. So again, it goes letter by letter. Am I
Yeah, you're in front of the code
All right, cool. Let me see.
on the overlay. Yeah.
All right, there we go. So, all right, so there we go. So we got the confidence scores for the word this. And so again, it goes letter by letter. And then it combines each letter, through the process. And then, it combines that understanding and everything and gives you a confidence score and stuff of it and everything. So the confidence score just for the word this is a 99.99% score. So the score you're basically going to have, it's like basically 0 to 1 everything of like the confidence score, but it's in decimal form too as well. So you're going to go through, it's going to go from 0 to 1 of its confidence of what it's looking like and what it understands stuff that it's bringing in. And so aka this is basically like a 99% understanding of what it has. It's 99% confident and stuff that what it has, everything. And then it moves on to like the next letter, which is. And so we're right here in the title. So this we got this is title. This is oh, and I'm sorry, it's up here the header. So this is the header. Okay, cool. So we got 99% accurate confidence score. Another confidence score here. And so as you see, like it's very confident and stuff, understanding and stuff what it has. And so it also too, Azure AI, the document studio, it gives us some of the code too as well. So, if you want to just like kind of build on top of this or anything, it's like, you just upload an image or a sample and what you want to do, and it kind of like outputs the code too as well, which is amazing. But this right here is like the game changer, guys. Like that confidence score of understanding that what it's reading, what it's looking at, which is just like the fun part. So here we're gonna move on. I'm gonna go. So we got here. We got. All right. This looks like some type of like expense report, everything. So we got an expense report, and then this is interesting too because now it has some new function stuff here. We got some new numbers. Got some numbers. We got dates and stuff involved, as well. And so there, we're gonna run analysis as well. All right. So going back, we got the title and stuff here. So it look like it's pretty accurate. We got the Beacon Roofing Supply. Those to consolidate financial statements, year end September 30, 2020, dollars and thousands. And so, yeah, so it's pretty accurate and stuff here. Bring in a section heading, paragraph, and stuff here as well. So, yeah, like it's done a pretty job, even with the numbers and stuff here. Here, let's double check the numbers. Let's see. Yep. So we got the numbers here. We got 17,000, 0.7, 389, 1831, 2010, or I can see 2010, 2008. So yeah, pretty accurate stuff here. And let's go look up to the JSON too as well. Let's look at this confidence score of where we're getting stuff over here. So again, we're getting pretty high confidence scores and stuff of it. Again, guys, remember, like it's going letter by letter, word by word, number by number, everything. And it's kind of outputting, and then kind of putting everything together. And like this is crucial too here as well when you want to, like insert a lot of these things, insert your data into like a vector database. Like it's already doing so much of the work for you. It's already kind of putting in a JSON form or whatever form stuff you want to output and stuff with. And then it's like you need a confidence score, which is going to make it easier on the query, aspect, if you're building like an LLM tool, if you're building, some type of solution stuff there. So like, guys, this is just sensational, and stuff with it. So again, get a confidence score. Let's find one of those numbers, one of those years, those numbers. Okay, we got 30. And so say that again, confidence score over here, 99%, 2010, confidence score, 99. And so over here, dollars, so we can find another thousands, except per share data, otherwise prepaid expenses. I mean, yeah, we don't have anything yet, that falls below, a 99% accuracy, which is just, phenomenal and stuff like that. So let's do, there we go. Here we go. So now we got some handwritten, things. And so I should have wrote some things down with my writing. It's It's not fun. All right, cool. So we got a document stuff here. It just looks like a checkoff box and everything. So we got some checkoff box and stuff here. We got the document. We got some handwritten material stuff here as well. So let's see our results and stuff here. All right. All right. So look at this. Notice that it takes a text and it puts it in the proper category. So it puts in the category of text. So we got document to store share, and then we got the overview and stuff of it. And then over here, look at this, our checkboxes. So remember earlier when I was telling you like on the OCR process of here, I'm gonna reshare my screen and stuff here so I can do everything. And, all right. You guys can see my screen and stuff here now. All
Yep, see the screen.
right, cool. So remember on the OCR process, where's it at? Character recognition. Yep. So yeah. So it does the character recognition, everything. So it can recognize, patterns and stuff as well. And then also too, we talked about too as well, like, the document process with it. So, data entry. So again, like it can be purchase orders, invoices, surveys, and this whole process, just like building something about that can like eliminate so much work, as well. So imagine, your job, your client, a customer else like wants to automate their invoices. And so let's say they are a lawn care, service. And all they still do everything manually. Got paperwork, it's handwritten, all these different things like that. And so, but they want to basically send all the information. They've been in business for 22 years. They have over 16,000 handwritten documents and invoices and everything. And they want to get done with this process. They want to sit everything, over to like the new invoicing platform. So, they could very much, go through a process of just like kind of scanning one by one, so if they want to, or individual like yourself, they can build them a tool and so, with it. So some selection marks and stuff here. We got we brought in selection marks stuff here. So it gives us like the accuracy rate and everything. If it's unselected, if it's selected, the confidence score that it gives us stuff as well, what the information stuff is about, which is just, you know, incredible and stuff here. So there we go. And then it puts everything too, like in a table, as well. So do we have like not only do we have like the results and everything code, and then we can output this to the tables as well, just to like, double checking and stuff our work and stuff here. So again, going back to, the confidence score of things, like the confidence score, we're still like here at like just like a 90, above 99, close to 99%, accuracy and everything. So again, everything is letter by letter, that turns into word by word and stuff here as well. Thoughts, thoughts, questions. Right. So we're gonna move on to the next one and stuff here. All right, so we have a chart for like formulas, like different equations, all of such. And so same thing as up here, which is just, outstanding. The ability to bring in, anything from like a formula as well. It's just like sensational. So, you know, math equations, weird symbols, all different things, everything, different formulas. It recognizes, oh, look at that. There we go. So this is so awesome. So watch this. Look at this. It doesn't recognize this. Now, again, this goes back to what I talked about before. Number one, it's not gonna be perfect. Two, you know, like I said, you may have to build some additional works and some additional scripts of like, okay, if it feels like there's something on the page that's not capturing in, you may have to like kind of kick it back and write additional code or write additional scripts and stuff against it, and stuff like that. So like that's really great to see, and stuff and everything. So again, going back to we got the confidence score, and stuff of it. Love to see it and everything of each each letter, each symbol, to as well. Oh, look at this! Actually, look at this. Da-da-da. So it falls formulas in line for okay. Oh yeah, this is awesome. Okay. So look, it has yeah, this is awesome. So after formulas, the next thing is the next sentence. But also too, it brings in the bullet point, as well. Look what happens when it brings in the bullet point. It's just simply a dot. Look at the confidence score. It drops, significantly. Everything. Any thoughts of why? Like why? It's just a simple dot. Everything. Any thoughts of why? Why that confidence score, just on a simple dot right here, would just drop significantly. No wrong answers here.
Can you show where the dot is in the formula?
Yeah, it's right here. So just a bullet point. So the line before that, I'm saying the word before that, everyone understands its formulas. The next one now right here is just a bullet point. But again, bullet point is just a simple dot, and stuff of it. And it's like the confidence score just dropped. And the next word is the, and then quadratic, and then so on, so on, so on. Mostly, like even with like, for the most part, this is still like a simple doc. I mean, everything. But also too, you know, one of the reasons why the confidence score drops so heavily from the time period is because of the format of the document as well. Yes, Shanti, yeah, indication too as well. So yes, the format and indication stuff of it. So it's like, okay, I understand, and basically what it's saying, hey, I know that's a dot, and I understand that, but typically, from the way the algorithm is set up and everything, how the code's been written, typically the dots are typically after a sentence, at the end of a word, thing. And so, like, yes, I see this a dot, but I'm not too sure now because it's kind of like out of place, and stuff here and everything. And so it's out of place in here. And there's additional scripts and code and stuff that you can write, against that, that can kind of like help with that process too as well. And so again, we got the code and stuff here. So now let's get a little more difficult and stuff here. So remember, guys, I told you, like, the client, gave permission and stuff here. This is one of the letters, from the client. Now look at this. Here, let me I'm gonna reshare. All right, cool. All right. All right. So you guys can still see my screen here. All right, cool. Appreciate it, Shanti. All right, so look at this. We got I mean, look, remember I mentioned like condition was a concern. Here, quality of the document. It has well, this definitely looks like a burn stain, and stuff here. Like these are documents, guys, from the late 1800s. These looks like maybe ink smearings, maybe water damage, and stuff here. And so it's like, then we got a tear and stuff over here. We got some of these too, the team and stuff museums, they were right on top of the documents too as well, just kind of get some clarity of what some of the things are. But yeah, this is type letter. But look, it's folded up and stiff here. We got some more additional, watermarkers over here. Look at this, Paris from 1916 as well. So let's see what happens now. All right, all right. So, all right. So we got it brings in a date. Okay, we're on a good start. Brings in a date. We got Paris, the 11th October, 1916. Man, it's quite definitely quite some time ago and everything. So we got Paris here in 1916. And then immediately we got some trouble. Dear who? We can't see that. We can't see that and everything. So dear who? Everything. Any thoughts? Now remember, I'm gonna ask you a question. Um, this process, remember, the client is giving us 10,000 letters. They're giving us 10,000 letters, to kind of like figure, put this together and figure this out. With those 10,000 letters, you are going to be scanning, using Azure and using this OCR process and everything to get, all this information and everything. Any thoughts on how we can take a guess from the other 10,000 letters, how we can take a guess on who this may be? So too, I want to see dear October. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, any thoughts, guys? No wrong answers. Any thoughts of how we might take a guess of like who this may be? Probability of finding. Yes. Shanti, if you can elaborate, you're definitely on the right track and stuff there. Okay, we got mostly often used, absolutely. Uh-huh. I love that one. Use of address. Yes. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. So watch this. Let's go back here real quick. Um, remember when we talked about with the library, and how the embedding process works, how it stores authors and, this is the analogy of how embedding work and how you vectorize things, but it stores like authors, books, characters, things like that. I mean, that same process goes through when we're analyzing all these letters. So Shanti's exactly right. She's exactly right and everything. So basically we can use probability to understand like, okay, we can even take the context of what they're talking about. So once we have like all the letters and everything, put together, we can take the context of what they're talking about and get an understanding of like who they may be referring to. But she's exactly right. We can use, other names stuff that we have into, we can use addresses stuff that we've seen, in it as well. So if it's the same address, versus dates, as well. Same address around the same dates, time frames like that. We can use this and spot on. We can definitely do a probability score of, who they may be referring to. And look at this. We can also understand this too as well. So like we have the deer, which is 899%, accuracy, even with like I'm assuming that's like a watermark or something like that over there, it still pulls it in. So we got the deer, and then over here, actually, guys, is this too small? Too as well? Can you guys see that? Let me know. All right, cool. So we got the deer, and then it says, M. All right, there we go. Ty said that's better. All right, so then we got the M and everything. So but the deer M, and so like we can go through this process and everything, so we can understand like, okay, this letter is talking to somebody, and this all can be like programmatically. This all be written and stuff like in your code, guys. Where basically, look at that, falls to a 20% confidence score. So it's like, okay, excuse me. I know that says M, But it's something else than that. And like because of we got this big burn status over here, and like this is like spot on, this is accurate. So it's like, hey, hey, I'm not sure what else is supposed to be here. So literally, guys, we can just write like a function, so if it's like, okay, we can write a function like, okay, understand, verify and everything who they're talking to. If you don't know who they're talking to and everything, kind of retrieve the function, the confidence score and stuff of it. And then we can say like, hey, do a search, like Shanti said, do a search or anything, a probability of who they may be talking to. Obviously somebody starting with the letter M, which kind of like makes everything, so much better and everything, especially on the vector side of things. And so yeah. And so the rest of this, actually, I missed that. So let's see. We got able to send. Oh, look at that. So we got our first error and stuff over here, and I'm pretty sure the confidence score is gonna be low on this. But look at this. It's kind of marked off and stuff there. It's burnt out. It looks like that says how. Yeah, HOW. Yeah, how able to send you the ground floor plan. To the how am I able maybe. I think so. Look, let's go. Let's go see. We'll take a look. Actually, will it let me search? Oh no, it said low. Ooh. All right. Mm, okay. Look at that. Ladies and gentlemen, that's incorrect. That's awesome. That's incorrect. It says low right here. I'm pretty confident. Actually, let me verify my own eyes. Yeah, I think that says, does it says how? That says how right there, right? Zoom in some more. Yeah. HOW. I mean, so yeah, it says how. No, it says now. Oh wow. Yeah. It says now. Yeah. Yeah, that's very, very hard to read. Yeah. Yeah, that says now. Yeah, there you go, Miss Neil. Yeah, she got it. Yeah, that says now. Maybe are you now able to send, you the ground floor? So yeah. So look at that. We got a first mistake and everything too as well, which is awesome because also too, there's still ways to as well, and we'll dive into it in a second. There's still ways too where you can do, you know, yeah, where you can do, analyzing and stuff there as well. So the whole context of the sentence, going back here. So it's like this whole context of the sentence right here is kind of like it's just it starts off not making sense and everything in the first sentence. So literally we can just kind of spin it back out and everything and kind of like get some additional correction and stuff, stuff there. And so figure 6 months. Okay, cool. No, just text. But yeah, this is like an awesome example and stuff here. Stuff with it. So brings in, yep, it brings in the signature, brings in the address. So yeah, we definitely can use like Shanti said, we can use address of who they're sending this to, as a reference to try to figure out, who they're talking to. And also to that person's in Paris around, October 1916. So this is just like this is like an awesome example of just like how OCR works, everything. And so here, let's do another one. Questions, thoughts, everything. You know, what you guys think? And like this is a very this is what also too what I was talking about, like how, you know, you guys as AI engineers, you basically become like the new history writers, being able to build applications like this, everything that will tell just like stories throughout histories, throughout, old and past artifacts, too as well. And so let's just go here. Cool. Thoughts. What's your thoughts out there? Why I'm gonna bring in another one stuff here. Questions. Thoughts, questions, concerns. Again, no wrong answers stuff here. Let's see if we can find another difficult one. One that's hard to read. Actually, no. You know what? Let's do one in cursive. That'll be fun. Look at that. Shanti, definitely appreciate that one. Shanti said that there's always a risk that we might interpret wrong and rewrite history. Absolutely. And kind of what Matt alluded to earlier. I mean, this is where, proper practices and stuff were in play, being able to, analyze and everything with complete accuracy of like what you're reading, understanding, and and just like really just like doing the kind of like going the extra mile. But Shanti, yeah, you're definitely right. You're spot on stuff there. There again with technology, you know, typically it's not the problem when it comes to, doing things on the left side of things or the right side of things or anything. It's the human intention. So, but being able to like build this type of a tool, everything that can, kind of like it can definitely takes leaps and bounds or anything to kind of like help us like, get there, more quicker as well. So, all right, so here we go. We got another document stuff here. Man, that's really hard to read. So I'm really interested to see what this is going to say. So we got, it looks like maybe October 1816. What do you think? Oh my God, is that World War One? This is amazing. Yeah, I think this says October 1816. I know what that says. Let's see if it's going to get it right. Yeah. So yeah, this is hard to read. So let's see. Again, guys, again, this is one of the benefits of using OCR. So where did we got is it at everything? Where'd it go? Oh, yeah, handwriting recognition. So again, it has strong capability to do so, but it's not always perfect. It's not always perfect and everything. And so let's see what we get. Let's see what we get here. So it's all like literally close to nothing. This is right. Let's see. Okay. So here we go. Yeah, this is awesome. So okay, tell you context and everything. Yeah. So yeah, it didn't bring in a lot and stuff here. It's very difficult to read. So we got JD, which is right. And stuff here. We got a 96% accuracy rate. So there, we got the W, that's correct. War, that's correct. Number one, that's correct. Even look at this. Even the confidence score on number one is it's like it's not 100% sure. One stuff here. All right. So it says, wait, it says anything. Oh, okay. It's going all the way across. I was like, okay, cool. So yeah, that's right. Anything. So we're go yeah, that's definitely gonna drop. One, that's correct. From conference score. Oh, that's one is 100 as well. And then 001. Let's see here. I don't see a 001 and stuff here. What is it alluding to?
I think that's the date where it says after the OCT period, October.
Oh yeah, let's see. Da, 001, 18%. Okay, yeah. So yeah, the confidence score definitely on that because I thought that said, what do you guys think? I thought it was October, like OCT, everything. But again, I could be way off too as well. But the 1816, that looks correct. Even it's I'm fully confident. But I mean, this is just an example of like this whole process, this whole process and being able to, take this information and like even difficult, writing and difficult difficult documents and stuff to read, too as well. Like even like I said, going back to like we got the burn stains and stuff here. Like this gets us. I mean, this technology doesn't get us so far and everything, and then from there, um, October. Hold on, how'd you say October 18? Yeah, so we got October 18 slash 1816. Yep, there's a slash. Yep. Yeah, so we got October 18. Yeah, so we got this correct. Even then, score still drops and everything. We can go through a process to confirm that's right. We got 1816. You know, this is accurate. So like literally, if we're building this tool, like we can write a function that's going to spit out, you know, any section, word, letters, or anything that has a low confidence score. And for me, typically, especially with things like this, I would say like for me, I typically do anything below 90, as well. And so I just want to, again, guys, just want to like verify. And so make sure like, we're kind of giving it the best, possible results for stuff we can. But yeah, so yeah, that 18 that slash 16 anything. So yeah. Um, 1816. Is that the year or is that the day? Wait, 19. Oh, 1916. So October 18th, 1916, right? That's wild. But yeah, so again, guys, going back to here, like it's just, it's amazing and everything what you can do here. Let's find one more and then we're gonna jump into Google Colab and then we're gonna build one. Duh. Ooh, wow. Look at this. That one's this one is really difficult. Look at that. So we got, excuse me. All right, so we got a letter that has clearly been burnt. It looks like they laminated to keep it together. Um, looks like watermarks as well. We got rippings, we got holes, and stuff in there. Do we even have, we can't tell who it's to. Oh, look at this though. Look at this though. Is that Paris again? It is. Maybe to the same friend and stuff we were talking to earlier. So let's run it. Let's see what we get here. Let's see if it brings it in. Ah, look at that. It brought a good portion and stuff of it. So yep, it brought in Paris. Yeah, it brought in Paris and stuff there. And it looks like look, it was too much going on, but it looks like that says October. Yeah, that says October. Paris, October, everything. And so like and watch this, guys. It's easy for us to like do this. It's easy for us to like zoom in and like read and like, oh, okay, that says October. So like, why would I want to build this? Again, there's 10,000 letters. Guys, we're not about to sit here and go through 10,000 letters and everything. We're going to lean on tools, like Azure AI with the OCR processing, lean on tools and everything, and focus on getting the best results. And then the ones that we don't, we're going to kick it out. And maybe that 10,000, the ones that's difficult to read, maybe the 10,000 turn into 600. Then the ones that's like it's just really difficult to read, or it's like it has a confidence score below 50%, 20%, like what it may be, and everything. Like that right there is like solution building, because then we cut a problem, less than half. Like we took a quarter, less than a quarter. And so a problem now we can focus on either we can say, hey, we can just like either leave these out, or we can run it through the OC process again. We can write additional code or additional scripts and stuff to it and everything. Or, this kind of, we can get a human in the loop, as well to like help us with this process and everything. But again, I mean, we're going from 10,000 down to probably like, like 600. I mean, it's amazing. So Let's zoom out here. All right, so let's see. Um, imagine that says badge receipts of your letters of September with two September 20th. All right, let's see, let's zoom in some more. All right, so batch receipts of your letters of September with two of the 20th and one on the 22nd, except meaning for your attention to electric and telephone matters. Okay. Except meaning your attention. So yeah, it does a pretty good job of like bringing all that stuff in. And then again, guys, we can kind of go through the we can go to like the probability system that we can build to as well, like Shanti said, figuring out, the potential of like what the rest of the sentence or the beginning of the sentence and stuff may say. So again, so over here it says, actually I want to see this. Okay, so I have already. Okay, cool. So here we go. This is the next line of stuff right here. So we got a confidence score. Here we go. All right, so I pretty confident. I kind of find it interesting that half, is pretty confident too. I mean, it's still 83%, confidence score, but it's kind of like type weird, as well. It has like this space, almost like it's two different letters as well, but it still was able to capture it, which is just phenomenal. So all already telegraphed, and then it falls off and stuff there. So I have telegraph something to written you. Maybe it said written you. Yeah, that's a big drop off. We got the big tear and stuff in the middle and stuff there. But yeah, so we got the big tear and stuff in the middle and everything. So we can't, maybe this has two written or something like that. Yeah, so we got a big tear in there. So yeah, that's a drop off so there. But again, guys, this is still like, sensational work to be able to do this and to be able to bring in most of it. And then just like the things stuff you don't like or things that has a low confidence score, you just kind of kick it out. And stuff. Oh, I didn't even see those initials. Are those initials? Look at this. This actually may be bleeding of a paper that was on top of it or below it. Yeah, because they got some stuff on additional text and stuff here too as well. Um, so yeah, there may be additional bleeding on top of it. All right. So, all right, thoughts, questions, concerns. Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. What's your thoughts here?
I think it's pretty cool, especially seeing it work with older handwritten versus kind of documents. I think it's pretty cool to see it in action.
Yeah, particularly too, like you said, on the handwritten side of things. I mean that's so difficult. Like I can't read my own handwriting sometimes, so especially if I'm like rushing. And I wrote something down, I come back to it like a day or a week later. I'm like, oh my God, what does that say? Stuff. And so like, yeah, it can be difficult. So reading somebody else's, handwriting, particularly in a time where language is kind of different too. Like it was still English, but like, the way they put together words and stuff was, very different too as well. And so yeah, I mean that's definitely a unique time period. So here. All right, so here, let me I'm about to bring up here, switching over to Google Colab. I've already like kind of like written this code and stuff here. I'm explaining stuff here, what it is here in a second. If you want to follow along, feel free, but also too, I'm gonna share this as well. after the class. All right, yeah, beautiful. All right. So let me get set up here. Folder. Mm. All right, so let's share the screen. Uh, all right, all right. All right, can you guys see my screen? You guys see my screen. You see my screen, right? All right, cool. All right, so we're just gonna do a simple build out and stuff here. If you're gonna use Microsoft Azure. Oh, actually, let's go through this process too as well. So, let's go back. Okay. So actually, let's do this. We'll do this together super quick. I'm gonna create a new one. We need to. So remember, guys, the breakdown and the instructions here. I'm gonna share this with you of how to like build like your own version, along with Azure. So we got to set up the Azure account, and to as well, create a computer vision resource. So we'll do all that, through the portal. Then we got to create vision resource, the subscription resource group, and all stuff like that. So we're gonna do that and stuff now. So create a resource. Actually, cool. All right, cool. All right, so the subscription and stuff here. We're gonna do a resource group and everything. I'm just gonna kind of select, the ones and stuff that I already have. And so you'll basically right here your name and stuff your own. The subscription is it's just like it's like the billing aspect of your things. What region and stuff you're in. So again, I guess I said too as well, this is like always a good time to just like if you're having some deployment issues, and typically Azure does a good job of like, kind of like notifying you like what's going on. So, sometimes you may have to switch your region, and then if like deployment and stuff is down. Excuse me. Yeah. And stuff. And so then you'll have a name. So let's do test demo. And also too, like the pricing tier as well. So guys, remember, subdomains already used. Cool. So guys, remember too, so remember how I mentioned, what's the doc? Remember I mentioned too, I had some issues around like the pricing tier, and being able to still like it was basically it was giving me an error that like you didn't fall underneath like the correct pricing tier of things. And so it was giving me an error and stuff like that. And I knew for sure that I wasn't trying to oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, I wasn't trying to like, go above, the pricing tier. So here we go. So here's some of the pricing tier as well. So we got some all right, cool. So, fairly cheap and everything, fairly cheap and everything. So, for 1,000 pages, we're talking about, $1.50 and everything and stuff like that per 1,000 pages, too as well. And then above that and everything, we're looking at, 60 cents and everything per 1,000 pages. So, if you are, if you're doing, a couple 10,000 or anything, it's still like fairly cheap and everything. Guys can manage this. But so yeah, I had some trouble on my end when I was trying to kind of like run the code. and then it kind of kept giving me error, and it said I need to be on the paid tier and everything, and I definitely wasn't processing more than like 500 pages. So you may have to like kind of like switch over to the paid tier and everything to set it up and everything, but the the pricing and everything is still the same. All right, so where'd it go? Okay, cool. There we go. All right, so we'll set that up. Responsible AI notice. Appreciate that. And then we're just going to do review and create. So basically what it's doing is set up the deployment side of things. It typically takes a second. All right. So there we go. Initializing deployment. So here, set up deployment in process. And we are, drum roll, boom, we're set up. So over here. Beautiful. Okay. So from there, we want to grab our API keys and endpoint as well. And so I already have one, but I want to show you where it's at. And so here we go. So we got API keys, so you can just kind of copy and stuff there, 1 or 2, and then your endpoint. It's over here. And so we go back to Google Colab. It's over here. My stuff is already set up and stuff over here. So I got my API key, my endpoint too as well. Actually, did I use? Okay, cool. Yes, I got my API key, endpoint stuff as well. I already set up. So awesome. So also too, I've already, this is awfully just. Oh, the letter's not in there. So let's we're gonna be using this letters, for example. So typically the same thing we did and stuff over here on the Azure Studio, example. But we're gonna take some of the code and kind of put it into our own hands and kind of see what results that we can get as well. So we're basically just doing this like via API. So we're kind of the Document Studio is awesome, everything, but if we want to build like some real life solutions and stuff here, we're gonna do it via API. So let's go. All right, so we're gonna put our doc and stuff over here. Just data. All right, let's make sure that's the correct one. Okay, cool. All right, it is. Everything. All right, cool. So, a few steps and stuff here. So we're gonna go through this. Before I move forward, guys, any questions? Would you like to see how? Yep.
Hi, sorry. This is going to be a big question because I just got back. My work meeting ran really long. So I just want to real quick, where we are, run through where we are, what we're doing. Thank you. Sorry.
No problem at all. Okay. So Michelle, what have we done so far? Let me start over here. So basically, and you don't have to jot this down. I'm gonna share all the stuff and everything after the call and everything. But so we went through the process. Actually, let me ask you this, Michelle. What's the last thing you saw?
Sorry, my meeting started at 12:30, and then we had an incident. So I've been gone for quite a while.
No problem. So here we go. So basically, we'll start over here. So basically, we went through the scenario. Basically, we have a client. Hey, Michelle, can you mute your mic again? Awesome. So basically, we have a client. A client reached out to us, and it's a world-renowned museum and everything. So on my end, this is a real client. I just can't share, who they are and information like that. And so they reached out to us, and they said, hey, we would love to build, some type of AI solution for our visitors, where basically we acquired over 10,000 letters from the late 1800s and the early 1900s of our founder of the museum. And the letters are basically, everything from conversational pieces to receipts to invoices, it's like that. And so they was like, hey, can we build some type of, AI system where our clients, where our visitors will be able to kind of communicate and talk to, and learn about more about the founder. So, let me close these blinds. Cool. All right, and so so they want to learn, so they can learn more about the founder. So, okay, cool. So they acquired like 10,000 letters, and they digitized them and everything. So now the whole goal is like, okay, we got to figure out a way how to take these letters, and basically, read the letters and everything. We're going to build some type of AI. We're going to build some type of AI solution. Basically, it's going to read the letters. We're not going to do this one by one because again, it's like 10,000. So we're going to read the letters, and we have to retrieve the information off the letters and everything. And then kind of store it in some type of vector database and some type of like chatbot. Where then from there, the visitors were able to like communicate and chat to. It's kind of similar to like ChatGPT, but all based on the information. So immediately we kind of identify some hurdles and stuff that we may have. One of the hurdles and everything we're going through is like accuracy. Some of these letters are damaged. So some of these letters have burn stains, they have watermarks, they are ripped and everything. And then some of these letters have been handwritten as well. And so from there, and then also too, while we're doing this whole process, we got to remain cost effective. And so from there, we kind of do a deep dive on like, okay, well, what tools are available that we can use and everything to kind of like help us, figure this out. And we came into OCR, which stands for optimal character recognition. And so there are several companies who provide OCR tools, and so typically as an AI agency, we kind of go through this process of trying to figure out which tool is the best for this project. And so from there, we create this document of just like a summary of all tools and everything, and then we kind of like make a recommendation on which one to use and everything. And so from there we got Microsoft Azure. They have a computer vision OCR tool. GCP has one, and then from there we do like a breakdown and everything of like the whole like all the features and everything. So key features, integration, scalability, typically what they're ideal for, and then also too we include like the costs to as well. And so of it, it has handwritten detection because it's needed, too as well. So for this, the pricing tiers and so on, so on, so on, so on. And then we go through the implementation process. Excuse me. We go through the implementation process of like how to integrate and how to build on top. So this tool. So we go through that. And so what we're doing right now, we've just created a computer vision resource, in Microsoft Azure, because we can use computer vision, for the OCR process to analyze and read the documents. We did just do a few demos on how this OCR process works. So here we'll do, so here's an example over here. So this is just a document or financial statement report. And so, as you see, like using the OCR process, we upload the document, we run the analysis, and then the results and stuff is over here. And so right here, so you see that, okay, this is doing a good job of reading the text. And so it's pulling all the information and stuff here. And also too, it does even as much of like giving us the confidence score of what it has per letter. I'm sorry, per word. And so as it's reading, as analyzing, as understanding, it's retrieving to us how confident it is of what it's seeing and everything, which is just phenomenal. Because we're going to need this until very, very soon. So we kind of went through all these different examples, and then we get a little more complex. So here's one of those things that's a little more complex. This right here has a burn stain on it. Looks like it has some water damage and stuff to it. Like there's some tears and stuff to it. So basically, now throughout this process, how accurate can we get it? Okay, yeah, how accurate can we get it? As well. So we see one of the first thing we notice, is that number one, we don't know who they're talking to. We don't know who's this letter's referred to. Everything. All we see is Dear M, that potentially even says Mr. MR. Anything, but the OCR, the Microsoft Azure Computer Vision tool, it brings in just the Dear M, everything. And so Shanti and stuff here, Shanti said, I would ask the question, I said, hey, what can we do to maybe help get an understanding of like, who they may be talking to once we have, kind of acquire all 10,000 letters. And so Shanti mentioned that basically we can create like a probability score based off all the documents that it has. So probability of who they may be talking to. Obviously, they're talking to somebody that starts with a Mr., so maybe a guy, or that person's name starts with an M, so it may be. And also, too, Shanti mentioned that you can use addresses, date, time periods like that. So all the information stuff that we already have, so we can kind of get like a probability understand that who they may be talking to. Also, too, we understand that whoever they're talking to right there, it was in Paris, and this is the 11th of October in 1916, as well. So we kind of went through like the confidence score and stuff of it, how that works as well. So like Paris here has a fairly low, fairly okay confidence score, but it's like 77% and stuff of it. Oh no, so there we go, 99, 93%, so 99%. The 11th and stuff here, 74%. And so we just kind of like get an understanding. So basically what we're saying is like, all this is great because this gives us additional tools and opportunities. So like if something, we can write additional code and scripts and stuff like that. Hey, you know what? If you have a letter, if you have words, if you have images that falls below a, 90%, 80%, 70%, 70%, 50% confidence score, like just throw it out, put it in a whole different, document, or put it in a whole different folder and stuff like that. So this also too helps us remain in keeping things accurate, too as well. And you can write additional code, you can write different description and thing, to kind of improve the accuracy. But we just kind of like doing, some of the basic stuff here. So we did a few of these. We even got a little bit more tricky too as well. We gave it cursive, and the cursive aspect thing got really interesting because, it brought in some things and everything, but the entire document just had like a low confidence score, which is like great to see because also too, it's not going to like just try to make up things, aka kind of like hallucinate. It's going to give you, typically, fairly accurate scores and stuff with it. So, and then we kind of increased the difficulty, as well. And then we kind of gave it a document here that it was laminated. Like it was laminated. Like obviously it has burn marks and stuff on it. It's been tearing up, it's been ripped, maybe even chewed on. And so like I mean, this is very old. This is the document from 1916, and so, we have to preserve it, too as well. And, we're trying to figure out how do we preserve it, how we properly analyze it, and still get maximum, output and stuff from it. And so same thing, same process, everything. We're kind of going through this. And so this is all the result, the code. And so now what we're doing, this is all just like on the studio side of things. So we're just doing this in Azure AI Document Intelligence Studio. So we're using this tool. But now we're taking a step forward. Basically, what if we want to build this type of tool via API and then just kind of build on top of that and go from there. So now we're stepping into over here. And so like now we're about to start kind of going through basically how would you do this via API. And this is like a couple lines of code and stuff like that. So I'm explaining stuff what everything is and stuff here as we kind of go through it. And this is where we're at now. And I'll make this bigger stuff for you. We got the test document. Okay, cool. That's in there. So again, we're using this document over here. So we got some we got a burn stain right in the middle and stuff of it. We got a couple burn stains over here as well. We got some ripping, some tearing and stuff over here. Got some handwritten, note stuff over here as well. And so we're going to see what type of results and stuff we can get, stuff with that. And that's where we're at right now, Michelle. So let's dive into this. So we're using Google Colab, and if you're not familiar with Google Colab, it's just simply an IDE, everything that lives on the web, and so just easy to like write some code, test some things, to as well. You can connect different endpoints, APIs, as well, and so and basically it has like internal terminal as well, so you kind of see what's going on, different contexts as well. And so basically what we did is the first section stuff that you see here, this is that we're just installing Azure AI Document Studio, which is basically we're calling it essentially. So we're just saying like, hey, we need to install this. I'm writing this in Python. I'm writing this in Python as well. So it's like, hey, we're going to install Azure AI Document, Studio. I'm sorry, AI Document Intelligence. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing and stuff here. as well. And so we're just using the API version and stuff of it. And so from there, we're going to start to import like our initial libraries and credentials so as well. And then right here, we have our, excuse me, we have our API keys and stuff that we grab from Azure. And then we also we have our endpoint, set up too as well. It's over there. All right, so then we're gonna start kind of getting to nitty gritty and stuff here. So we got a couple different function stuff set up everything. So basically, the first thing and stuff here is saying like, hey, just get the words. Get the words, go line by line, and so get the words, and you're going to iterate, everything until you can't iterate and stuff anymore, throughout the section. And then from there, excuse me, a second. All right. Yeah. All right, so you're going to iterate and stuff from there, and then from there you're going to check whether the words and the position falls within all of the provided like span. So basically, if you're going to be word by word, word by word by word by word, if you word by word and anything, you're going to check basically make sure that the words that you have align, accurately like as like a sentence and everything, or as a paragraph, as a document, and stuff where it may be. From there, we're going to give it our test document and stuff here, which is that, the document stuff that we have over here. And so we're going to hand it that. And then also too, what's interesting? I'm actually glad I remember this. I wrote some notes and stuff with that. Yeah, Shanti, I would think so, but we're at the end of it as well. So yeah, I appreciate it. Okay. So one of the interesting things and stuff, let me see if I can find. I found it interesting. Okay, so here this is the documentation of like breaking down, that's what we're doing. This is essentially like building like a RAG application. So if you guys aren't familiar with RAG, a RAG essentially is where you give it your own set of documents, database, information. It could be anything from YouTube transcripts, to blogs, to customer reviews, to payments, to anything and everything. So basically, you have a lot of different sources and everything that can be used, as a RAG application. And so RAG stands for retrieval augmented generation. And so it can be anything in the form of PDF, TXT, JSON, MD, images, emails, sitemaps, URLs, stuff where it may be. And so it's just like, basically you're building a application with your own data, with your own data sources and stuff like right here. And so yeah, so typically how this process works, everything is like we're giving them like a data source. So this is one of our data sources and stuff right here. It's going to extract that using the Azure AI document process. So the same thing we just did over here. So they're basically going through the analysis, run the analysis. It extracts all the text that it can read, and it gives us the text stuff over here along with the confidence score and stuff that it has and of each letter, everything that it's reading. And so, okay, cool. No, I'll cover some in a check. Okay. So yeah, it goes through this entire process. So here's another example of how it works and everything. So it grabs the title, of it. And see over here, the page header, the paragraph, the section heading, and so it can grab all this information. So well, it can grab tables too as well. We showed the example earlier of it grabbing a table, as well. So there we go. So we got the example and stuff here that it understands and it grabs tables, as well, so it can take the information. And so right here, so we got the name, corporation, remark, and so as well. So all this is available to us, within the computer vision process with Microsoft OCR. And so it grabs that, grabs tables, numerical values, dates, all of such. And so I'm looking for, let's see, this is it. Because I found the error. I meant to tell. All right, this may be it. Yeah, I don't see it now. Yeah, okay, I don't see that. All right, so here, I'll show you here. So it's right here, going back to the process and everything, how this is going to work, how the code's going to work. It's bringing in the sample document. Has a file path, the file and stuff is over here, as well. So we're just kind of just storing this, in our collab or anything. And then kind of going through is finding it's going to the file path. What I found interesting, I ran into this before. So remember, guys, remember I told you too, like one of the problems or one of the concerns that we had with this project was the accuracy and everything, but also to the different formats of documents and everything. So formats mean some documents can be a PDF, some documents can be a JPEG, some documents to be a PNG or anything, right? So for a minute there, internet, this file path and everything. So basically, right here we're having said this right here is just basically bringing in and understanding that this is a PDF. This interesting too that this RB is basically like a UTF identifier, but basically it gives you it gives the code the understanding of like what type of file you're about to process. And so what I figured out and everything as well that initially this was like just actually you know what, let's run it. We're gonna run it with intentionally as an error, and then I'll show you what it does. And so we're gonna run it with just with the R. So we gotta initialize the document. We're gonna initialize the document as well. So we're storing, we're grabbing our API keys, our endpoints, our thing, we're storing it, and we're sending this and anything with us into via API. And then from there, we're using the preview model that Azure has given to us. So they have several models, which is awesome. So let's do. Okay, cool. So remodel. No, that's not it. All right, let's do. Okay, cool. Here we go. So, so look at this. We got several different models in there we can use. We got a credit card model. So basically, this will be analyzing and reading, kind of same process, like a credit card number. So like we've all had that experience where you've uploaded your debit card, your credit card, and everything to a system for it to read, for it to automatically input, into like your banking or some type of payment system and everything. Well, so that process is fairly similar, everything and stuff here. So it gives you all of the necessary fields and everything that will be required, to do so. So it kind of is it automates a lot of the process for you. So it understands everything, so that card numbers, gives it an output example and stuff of that. It understands that it needs to be a string and stuff in there. The bank, the payment network, Visa, MasterCard, so where it may be, card holder name, company name, so on, so on, so on, so on. So the pre-built models and everything kind of already like does a lot of this extraction process for us. So let's look at the mortgage one. Yep. So the mortgage one similar. So if you're looking at a document with like which mortgage information and stuff in there, here it has some pre-built previous models and everything. So it has the fields, so things like borrower's name, the loan number. So it has a good understanding of like basically what it's already looking for. And it just uses the OCR process to identify these fields and then just like connect, stuff where it needs to go. So same thing for the marriage certificate. Same process. So spouse's first name, last name, age, birthplace, all different things as well. So let's look at health insurance card. Yeah, this is an awesome one. So look at this. It's bigger. So the same process and everything. It understands that it's looking for the name of the insurance, company. It's understanding they're looking for the member number. I'm sorry, the member name. It's looking for things like medical network. So it's looking for all of the different fields, and it's just bringing it in and putting it into like the correct resource, the correct category. So of it. So here we go, field extraction. So insurancer, member name, birthplace, gender, if it has dependent stuff on the card, group number, prescription, number, all prescription plan, co-pays, it has all this stuff already, which is just awesome too, because a lot of these things again can just be completely automated, if you're building, for your job or for, a client and stuff of yours. If a client wants to give their patients the ability to just upload their insurance card like this, with certain insurance companies, you can just do like an API call or a verification process that, this insurance is still live, it's still going, and then you can retrieve back things like copay and everything, so they understand that they're in what copays are going to be. Also, too, if they're in the proper network, with that doctor, as well, so like, hey, you can do an automation process, where you can just send them a text message or have an AI phone agent to call them to let them know, like, hey, this doctor is actually not in your network. Would you like to proceed? So like things like this can be like, fully automated. Like once it's set up and everything. What's this? Invoice. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is probably one of my favorite ones. Look at this. All right, let me see. I can make this. Da-da. All right, so, all right. Okay, cool. So yeah, so look at this. Actually, here, I can just put this in the chat too. All right, so here we go. So look at this. This is an invoice from, from somebody, from a customer. Like obviously this is kind of like it's kind of like dummy data stuff right now. But look at the fields and stuff here. So same thing we did over here with like bringing in, having and resulting like our confidence scores. So I mean, when I say like this is just like really, really, really needed, really accurate. So we always need that. So it does the same thing here, even on, for invoice. So the amount due, like you definitely want that to be accurate, especially too if you're gonna like, figure out a way how to automate this process. Amount due is $600 and tens, what $610. So that's an 88% accuracy. So for me, I probably would still kick it back out if I'm like automating this process, because I want things above 90% accuracy. Billing address, everything 99% accuracy, awesome. Billing receipt, recipient, 99% confidence as well. Customer address, everything. Customer ID, Microsoft Corporation, due date, invoice date, invoice total, previous unpaid balance, as well as purchase order, things like that. And then boom, it sends all these things over to a JSON document that can just basically communicate, to, your, so like whatever internal system, stuff like that, internal or external system they may have. But, all this processing, it can be just automated. So this is just, just awesome to see. And then same thing with, we got a receipt model as well. So yeah, some of us probably had this experience where we've uploaded receipts. There we go. So we upload a receipt. Maybe we just want to store it, somewhere. And so same thing, same process. So it's going in, is taking, the total, the subtotal, the taxes, the cash, the name of the merchant, the address, the date, all the stuff, and it's again put it all into a JSON too as well. So, that can be that can be communicated with. And then, one of I believe it was Taya who said that, one of our concerns is um kind of people doing, not so good things with it, but this is one of those things where, things like ID and identification, can also be automated and also be confirmed as well. So, the ability to be able to scan and analyze ID, so understand like, this is a real ID, this is the fake ID, and that we're living in a world. And also too, guys, one of the great things as well is like these solutions are like right here. Like they do a great job of like laying out how to build, so what to build. Like I'm going through this process too as well, show you guys like how it can be built. But like this is just like an unlimited amount of opportunity because there's so many institutions, organizations, governments who need these type of solutions where they just they don't either have access to it or the know-how or whatever it be. And so sessions like this can definitely get started with a lot of things. So same thing. And also too, a lot of DMVs too will allow you to do verifications, through APIs too as well, to verify that, if this person's driver license is accurate, up to date, if it's actually expired, this is a fake one, and so forth maybe. So same thing here. Confidence score of 87% with the address, the country stuff it's in. They got 98%. Date of birth, 98%. Expiration of license, has a high accuracy rate too as well. And so all the way down to the first name, last name too as well. So like this is like some of the like the pre-built models that we have access to. And then the last one is a business card model. And so again, like these are all like pre-built models and everything that's available to you guys already, through Microsoft Azure. So we got pre-built model stuff here as well. So going through same thing, just everything is basic. It's just name, the business, the institution, stuff they has, company address, job title, departments, emails, phone numbers, emails, phone numbers, addresses, and so on, so on, so on. And so, we got pretty much 98% accuracy on everything outside of the company name. But even then, it's still kind of got it right. So as well. And so in this entire process can be automated. So, and so yeah, that's one of the we're just using we're just using the pre-built red model stuff that we have. So we're using that and stuff here. So we have that. And then from there, we're just kind of like analyzing the result and everything. We're trying to figure out, okay, which part of this document is, handwritten, if any, as well and stuff here. And then we're analyzing, the entire page. We're iterating through the page, or we're iterating through word by word of the page. And also too, if there's multiple documents, we're iterating page by page, as well. So, if we're about to upload, 16,000 documents, it's going to iterate page by page, through as well. As well. So it's going through and it's going back, it's printing back, the word stuff that it has, the line, the context and stuff. We're going to see the results and stuff here. And again, our beautiful confidence score that is given us as well. Location, it doesn't matter and everything. So okay, cool. So here, let's run this. So again, you don't have to like try to copy this or anything. I'll share this this collab and stuff with you. So we're gonna run it. We are gonna get an error. We are gonna get an error and stuff here in a second. All right, so we got run. Ask me to sign in. Yes. Okay. So we got run. Checking the API, checking the endpoint. Boom. Error. So this right here, let's see. So this is Gemini. So let's see if Gemini does a good job of explaining why we got the error. Yep. Actually, no. Okay, so basically, the when you have the UTC, the UTF, identifier. So basically, it's an identifier to understand which type of file is about to process. So it's about to process a image, about to process a PDF. It's about to process, some type of like form format. It could be like an Excel file and everything. So basically, you got to kind of give it a heads up. Excuse me, you got to kind of give it a heads up of what's about to process. So basically, just as simple as this, and this R right here is basically is saying is expecting for images to be processed and everything, and it's not. And so we're gonna go up here and change it back to RB, which lets it know that hey, this is a PDF that you're about to process. Where'd it go? Oh, there we go. So we're gonna run again. Thank you. Um, Quick. All right, cool. All right, so we're gonna run again. And we got an error. Look at cannot read the local file, no such file directory. Um, oh, wait, did I? Just data. Oh. Wait, did I? Mm, okay. Okay, cool. Let's run this again. Something always goes wrong. Okay. What did we do? Stuff here. No info fast. Okay. Test data. RB. Oh, it is content data. Then guys, let me see what I did wrong here. Just make sure I uploaded the correct file. Remember too, we are using this file stuff right here, content, test data. Did I spell everything right? Or am I losing it? Test data and stuff that's here, 19114. Visual JD, PC, PDF. Very cool. Got the file stuff in there. Everything is running. Uh, Hey Shanti, definitely appreciate you attending and stuff here. I appreciate it. I'll be sending out the notes and process and everything, and give you a nice little overview of what we've done. So today, along with the code, along with the documentation and stuff that we access to, and also along with like our process of like how we, select the proper or select the proper OCR and tooling into as well. And so yeah, definitely. So all right, let's run this again. Again, something always goes wrong. Running live. Okay, and it still doesn't, no such file directory. Okay, let's see here. All right, so we're gonna go in real time. I changed back to RB. Content. Okay, let's try this. Mm. All right. So we're gonna do here. We're just gonna upload it directly. Let's see. Okay, yep, that's it. All right. Just let's do okay, let's not. Okay. All right. Let's run her again. All right, like we're good now. There we go. All right. So let's bring up our document and stuff here. And it's still running. Okay, cool. Beautiful. So, all right, yeah, it finished. Okay, cool. All right. So this is all now. So again, guys, we went through the process of doing this in a Azure AI document IntelliStudio Studio. So again, we just gave it an image. We gave it an image and everything, and then we're using the computer vision OCR tooling to read, scan, the image. So remember too, the process and the steps and stuff that it takes. Uh, yeah, the process stuff that it takes. Where'd it go? Okay, there we go. So yeah, the process and stuff that it takes and everything. So it goes to the pre-processing aspect. It analyzes the image and stuff itself. It tries its best to remove any unwanted marks or blurs. And so remember too, we have a bunch of like kind of unwanted marks and everything. We got some blurs, we got some things stuff over here. And then it converts the image into black and white to simplify the recognition process. And then it tries its best to align the text so it can read it easier. And then it goes into the segmentation process where it tries to read everything, it analyzes everything, worry about letter by letter, then worry about word, and then it puts it all together. And then goes through this character recognition process, and then the post-processing aspect. And so we're getting the post-processing now. So here we go. So let's bring this up. All right. So we got, let's see, what's that word? We got International Harvester Company. Zoom in and stuff here. All right, cool. So we got International Harvester Company. So, yep, we got International Harvester Company as a confidence score. Look at this confidence score and everything of 98, word by word. So for that, it does letter by letter, then it goes word by word. So for that Senate, it has a nice bit understanding. And then it goes everything from there. So International Harvester Company. So boom. Okay, we got that. And then from there, we got of New Jersey. So we got a confidence score of 99, 99, 92, 93. Okay, cool. We're trending here in the right direction. And so we got, and so, everything's over here. But, let's go down. Let's go down and stuff here. Let's see where we got the date. So we got November 20th. Can you guys see this too? All right, cool. So there you go. So we got November 20th. So we got a confidence score of 96. We got November 20th, 1914. So it looks like they're correct. Then we got November 20th, 1914. So we got our date. So that's matches here of a confidence score of 99, which is awesome. And then over here we got Dear Mr. Chafflin. as well. So, dear Mr. Chafflin, right here, we got a confidence score as well. 99, 99, 98, 99. And then boom, all of a sudden we got a drop off. It's saying like, hey, I think this is just two dashes. I'm not 100% sure. But you let me know. And it's still correct. I think so. Obviously, if we write some some scripture and thing to like kick it out, it get kicked back to it, but we still can like verify like, hey, that's right, and then continue, include it, take it out, so where it be. So it says our first sentence and stuff here. It says I over here. It says I am getting nervous about the situation in Venice. So I am getting nervous about the situation in Venice. Um, we have there. So we'll see. Here we go. I am getting nervous about the situation in Venice that we have and everything. So we're pretty spot on and stuff here. Like this is great. Again, guys, this is just all via API. So imagine, again, if you have a 98% accuracy rate, you can just take all this, store into a vector database, send it all over, and just kind of like do a semantic understanding of what the context stuff of the conversation as well. Also, too, as well, if we wanted to, we're not gonna have time and stuff here too as well. But if we wanted to, we can. I had my OpenAI key, API key too as well. I was going to try to do it, but if you wanted to, we could include in OpenAI to do summaries of the entire letter as well. So this is again going back to like just remaining creative and stuff with it with the results of other things we can do. So okay, so yeah, Venice. All right, cool. All right, so yeah, I want to get to this burn mark and stuff here. Let's see what we get. We got 70,000 in hands. The manager. All right, proprietor. Okay, cool. Here we go. So here we go. So the proprietor of the Hotel Europe, and then we got a big drop off and stuff here. Proprietor of the hotel in Europe. Okay, accurate. And then this is zoom in stuff here. We got a drop off here. So we got a nice little burn stain here. So we can't even with the human eye, we can't even make out. Maybe it says the other day, but let's see, we're here. So look at this. Other day, I had a letter from him. So I imagine it probably says the other day, but look at the confidence score right here of just other. Like that does a good job. Again, guys, if we're building a tool on top of this, and we're using the OCR process. We're doing this right with 10,000 documents. We want to have some type of comfort that it's not going to try to make up things. It's going to give us accurate confidence scores and everything. And so as of right now, it's done a very good job. So I think we found something earlier that it was off. But it so far it's done a very good job. And so right here, it's like saying, you know what? I see that burn stain is up there, and I think it says other, but I'm not 100% sure. So I'm gonna give it a confidence score of 65, and which is just great for us because then it kick it out to us, and then we can verify that get a human in a loop, or we can write additional scripts and stuff on top of it. We can resend it to the OCR process too as well. There's also ways too where you can you can clip this image. You can zoom in and clip this area too as well, and have it send it back to the OCR process to get a more clarity understanding. And then just once it has a response, everything, it can import it back into your vector database or whatever it may be. So let's go over to the next line. That's up here. So it looks like that May says 50,000. So asking me to loan him FRS 50,000. So asking me to loan him FRS 50,000. So we got that here, and look at that. It still brings it in. Still brings in nice little confidence score. Now let's see if that actually definitely says 50,000. Obviously there's another word up there. We can't see that, but we can use our embedding process to kind of take a guess. We can take a guess or anything like Shanti said so earlier. But we still get a nice little summary or understanding stuff here. And let's go to the last line stuff here to see what it says. All right, so else I am hard up on these bad what else? I am hard up on these bad times when. I'm hard up on these bad times soon. So yeah, it's not confident at all. That's what it says, which is definitely what we want to see. So we don't want to. What's it? Maybe it says time and yeah, time and I think even that we can't see and stuff what it says. So yeah, that's definitely what we want. We want it to relinquish and everything, how confident stuff is, how confident it's not, and then from there we can write, additional functions and additional scripts and everything. So so we have that good understanding of what it says. And so from there, and yeah, looks like the rest of the document would be pretty easy and everything to read and to understand and to analyze. And so yeah, and there he is, guys. So this whole process, man, we went through just a quick recap and stuff here. So kind of starting through, just kind of went through just like the kind of some of the history of stuff where we are in the world of AI. So it's exciting time to be, an AI engineer and to be looking to integrate and build on top of some of these things. We talked about, previous times of what happened. So times like the internet, the cloud, the mobile, where I believe we're in this kind of like down period, but in this down period right here is like what a lot of the building and stuff happens. And so I believe in stuff we're here now. We also kind of like went through like the adoption cycle and everything and stuff of how technology and stuff work right here. And then also comparing it to the time stuff that we live in now within with tools like OpenAI, Microsoft, and so on and so on. We kind of talked about this is also why I believe that we're kind of like in this down period, because like the building and the innovation around all these models and everything are starting to plateau. We started to see that graph stuff here as well. So starting to plateau. So it's like things are starting to kind of like level out. But again, for you guys, this is the exciting time, because this is where all the building and this is basically where the next Facebooks and everything and stuff happen. As well. So it's definitely a taking time. And then we went through the approach and stuff what we do over here at AI Impact, which, like I said, we're an education first company. And then we kind of went through a project scenario. And so the project was the famous museum and stuff. There's a client of ours, and they wanted to, basically hand over a couple thousand, like 10,000 letters from their founder, and have us basically create a conversational like chatbot system that the visitors will be able to communicate with, get an understanding of just more understanding of like the history and stuff of their the founder. So we went through the process of like how we said the project goes. Typically in history, you have individuals like historians, biographers, journalists, and architects are the ones who write history, and that is very much changing now. To where it's going to be individuals like yourself. So, AI engineers, machine learning engineers, computer engineers, and everything. And so we kind of went through this whole process. We talked about how embedding works and how vectors and stuff work. And then also too, RAG applications and everything. Another awesome example too of the RAG application as well is Singapore. Singapore is building something very similar to kind of the whole process we went through. Is they're basically building a civil servant AI assistant that is a RAG application that we can upload, some of their laws and past speeches and different things, and basically their community will be able to retrieve information. So imagine like just saying like, hey, I'm about to open a restaurant. What licenses or requirements that I need and everything. And so basically they built them a RAG application they'll be able to like solve some of these things. And so we went through that. So we went through that, and then we got into some examples of how the computer vision system works. Anything on the Azure side of things, we gave and stuff several examples here, and we kind of increasing difficulty and just kind of see how funky stuff they can get. And then we went into the process of how we analyze different OCR tools, how we kind of go through that process of like pros and cons, and kind of like recommendations of which tools to use and everything, for select projects. So there. And then we set up our computer vision resource and everything that we'll be able to use. We got our API keys, our endpoints, so there. And then we zoom out. All right. And then using this document and everything, we did the same thing on the API side to kind of like see what it will look like on the API side and get the result and stuff. And so we use the pre-built model that Azure offers to us, and then we just kind of sent it to the API, analyze this document, and kind of see some of the results stuff that we can get. And so from here, the opportunity stuff is endless because here you can build, certain things. We show some examples of here of like some of the systems that you can build, internally for your business, for your organization, for your client. We talked about the credit card model, how you can, scan like US mortgage documents, do verification stuff on that, marriage certifications, invoices, receipts, health insurance, receipts, business cards, IDs, and so on, so on, so on. And so, yeah, we went through that into our process. And so guys, definitely I definitely enjoy, in time stuff, with you guys, feel free, you can scan and stuff here. You can stay in contact, you get my social, if you have additional question, I offer consulting, too as well. But before we close out here, I definitely open up to any questions, any thoughts or anything. Hey, can you go back and do X again? Can you talk a little bit more about this? Definitely open to any questions, stuff, or feedback. Also, to Miss Neal, did you ever get your mic together? I know you were trying throughout the entire time. Oh, yeah, Neal said she wasn't able together. No problem. Elena, thank you for
Can
the
you go
message.
back to where you were getting the error in the code? I missed the explanation as to why and how you fixed it.
Yeah, that was just simply I just had it. That was just a simple. I just had the file in the wrong path and the wrong location. And so the first error we was dealing with was remember the R right here. So the file path, you have to tell it what type of file you're about to read. And so R signifies as images, so like PNGs, JPEGs, things like that. And then RB signifies as those plus PDFs and everything. So you have to like kind of give it a heads up as what about the lead. So obviously right here we're using a PDF, and so it needs to know they're using PDF. If not, you're gonna run into an error. And then from there, I just had this file, so I just upload this file and stuff over here. I just had this file in the wrong area, in the wrong location, and so it was just like, hey, I don't see that file, and so then I put it in the right location. So and it's this file and stuff right here. All right. Any other questions, concerns, thoughts? Definitely feel free to reach out to me. If you have anything additional to as well. But guys, yeah, man, definitely appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate you guys' time, too as well. We'll be talking to tomorrow as well. I believe he put the link in there. So I'll be talking tomorrow. Tomorrow it'd be like an hour session. See, is this it? Nope, that's not it. Where's that link? But I'll be talking tomorrow too as well. You should have got an email. Um, oh yeah, there we go. So yeah, we'll be going just basically just kind of like through my personal journey. I'll put it back here in the chat. Through our personal journeys, just things I've learned, just ways to overcome, things to figure out, what's the job market look like in this field. Like basically we can just do like it's a ask me anything question. And so that'll be tomorrow. We're gonna start at our tomorrow. The link and stuff is there. Same time, 12 p.m. Eastern time. And you just ask me anything. Won't be doing anything like on a technical side. So anything about my career, things I've learned, things I built, mistakes, a lot of mistakes stuff I made, too as well along the process, along the way. as well. So that'd be something we just do like an hour session. So just kind of like, feel free to hang out and ask questions too as well. And so hopefully Neil, I'll be able to talk to you too. Is Miss Neil hopefully be able to talk to you as well during that time as well. But yeah, guys, if there's not anything else, I'm gonna close this out here. And definitely appreciate you guys being here. And I will see you guys tomorrow.